pull the handle, and Donald Trump will flush it. Don't be a sheeple, everybody. Leave the Republican and Democratic Party and join me, David Sponheim. It's time for Sponheim. This is America's Third Party, and we support liberty, equality, and sustainability. We're Americans, and this is America's Third Party. So join the voter revolt. Let's make this happen, everyone. Challenge the two parties. Break out of the box. And do the right thing. Unite. Under a centrist plan that will balance the budget and save this nation. Hi, everyone. Okay, let the record show that you've been banned from the entire show. Anyone who comes in here and who tries to denigrate us, we are going to take you out of the show. That's the one thing. You can't denigrate us. Don't be a denigrator. You know, I believe that as a free nation, we can freely speak out. But when you come in here slandering us or slandering me, you're making a big mistake. We have been talking about being lied to in our government over the past few years. We've been talking about how the corporate shills that have been put in the presidency, like Obama and Bush, the puppets, continue to do the bidding of the people that got them there. And these people that got them there aren't even necessarily Americans. They are what are called sovereign individuals, living with so much money that it makes Bill Gates look like a pauper. These people have trillions of dollars, and they live outside of our nation. And they control the banknotes on our nation, believe it or not. They control our debt. And the government doesn't want you to know that. But we, as being freedom of speech people, we will continue to talk about the truth on nights like Monday. Monday is our Conspiracy Monday. And I believe that if you haven't been to our show, it will open your mind to a lot of questions. And once you start questioning things, that's what the government doesn't want you to do, because then you'll realize that they've got this two-party scam going where they control the odds by funneling money into both sides and then rig the elections that way. And we, the American people, we don't have any lobbyist force in America. We don't have anybody representing us, and we're getting screwed. The American people are getting screwed. The money in your wallet is declining in value because they keep printing up more and more at the Federal Reserve. And the Fed is a private corporation. It's not even part of our government. And we are now looking at the power of this body of the Federal Reserve and seeing how little they can do to stimulate our economy. So clearly we need to come up with a better plan. And yeah, if you want to post links in here, you just have to add the HTTP there. Yeah, there you go. It's a good link. We'll talk about things like 9/11 tomorrow on our Truth Tuesday show. Right now, we're trying to process the fake information that was put out down there at Umpqua Community College. Not one stitch of actual physical evidence of its shooting. And we've got people who are really believing that the 9 people are dead. And the story, you know, the bigger the lie, the louder they tell it, the more people believe it. And it's so hard to get the truth out when everyone's going, oh, it's so sad what happened there in Umpqua. Well, I'd like to see some evidence that it happened before I start going down that road of empathy. And I do feel bad for if they really did die. I feel bad, but I mean, come on. We're being lied to. All the cell phones at Umpqua Community College were taken by law enforcement. The DHS and federal marshals were there. The FBI was there before the event. There was some hearsay of some footage from a laundromat showing black vehicles going into the area prior to the event happening, implying, you know, we're going to make this thing happen. It's going to look good. People are going to believe it, and then they'll vote for gun control. Or maybe they just want to sell more guns. I don't know. Yeah, where is the proof? Yeah, there is no evidence. Exactly. Scissor Fight saying, screaming in the room. Thank you. You're right. There is no evidence. Anybody who comes in here slandering me again we're carrying the line, the line here for a lot of people who are really concerned about things that are happening in our country that are just not making any sense. And to come in here and claim I'm out of my mind, I would claim 35% of the people in the country are out of their mind, because that's how many people don't believe Barack Obama's citizenship. 35% would gladly vote for a third-party candidate if only they could see me or hear me on the mainstream media. Really? You know that 40% of the population doesn't even vote? So there's a lot of people not voting for a lot of reasons. Okay. Well, thanks. Tell Grace that I'm not available. I'm not looking for a romance, but thank you for, I've got, people claiming they want to sex with me. I don't sex. I don't do that. Yeah, we want the CCTV footage of the black FBI vehicles. That's what I want. Yeah. I haven't seen it yet. They must have got to it. I've been looking all over the internet for that laundromat footage. It's not there. Yeah, I am an American citizen. My mother was born in the United States, so there I have it. All you need is citizenship. Do. But we've got people running that aren't even citizens legally. Ted Cruz, naturalized citizens. I mean, when Obama's birth certificate was completely ignored, the truth about it, how it was forged, our country went down a very dark road. And now you've got anybody wanting to run for president. It might as well be an illegal alien, or worse, a robot. Well, this story keeps popping up. Hillary Clinton claiming she was a robot. And I would be remiss in not at least mentioning this story and showing you guys the link. Last week, Vanity Fair came out talking about this, and it's pretty intense. Apparently, they're so cavalier in their control of our government that they literally have her out there saying whatever she wants as a robot. I'm really not even a human being, she says. And she has this unbelievable ability that even everybody around her, like, how come you're not sweating, Hillary? There's no plot to overthrow the government. That's a lie. I'm not, wow. I'm going to purge you, but don't think for a second I would ever do anything like that or even talk about things like that. My God. Look, just because I've entertained the idea that your presidential candidate here, Hillary Clinton, claims she's a robot. No, it's not. Read the damn article. Well, I was sweating today. I was out working in the yard doing a lot of heavy lifting. Yeah. And I was breaking a sweat my whole forehead. Maybe I should do a live show with me working in the yard. It's not easy handling an acre of property, You got a lot of upkeep to do. I've got all my surveillance systems. Everything has to be properly checked, and laser sightings, all that. What's with your hair? Nothing. Hair's looking good. Yeah, what's with your head? All right. If you never answered why you sent tank notes, what? Those are BS stories. That was a hoax attack on our show, and I'm taking you out of the show. During the early right around 2013, 2014, we met a guy named Shrek, not in person, but he came in, 2014, I think it was, and he was gung-ho to get us signs out there. And right now you can get signs posted in your area simply by going to AmericasThirdParty.com and printing out the poster, or copying it to your hard drive and going to Office Max and printing it up. But anyway, people were doing that. He did it. And then some people sent a letter saying, oh, by the way, these people had, they all put their signs in front of their houses. Could you read their names out loud? And so we said, sure, yeah. I mean, people want to support us. So we read their names out loud. We had no idea these people were members of some secret white supremacist society. We had no idea. We were duped. And that's for the record. And we have numerous eyewitnesses in the chat room that would verify that, who support us. Thank you. I don't broadcast on Sundays because it's a day of rest. And I prefer resting. But every one of our shows is at our website and from the previous night. And you can go into our YouTube site, watch all our shows if you really want to watch our shows. And yeah, it's a great way to do it. But yeah, if you click this poster here, it's not this one, but that one right there. It opens up a whole page, and it's Join the Voter Revolt. There's nothing more disturbing than a person claiming that you said something or did something that you didn't do. And anyone who's a white supremacist is automatically banned from the room. Yeah, we don't like white supremacists, and anybody who dislikes or denigrates the party is also banned from the room. So we ban on a regular basis, so don't take it personal. Just come back as a new guest and try to monitor what you're saying so it's not demoralizing, so we can talk about the issues. Because there's a lot to talk about here. Like Hillary Clinton claiming she's a robot. So I'm really not even a human being. Now, you can look at this link yourself, check it out, go for it. Yes, you can be proud of your Caucasian background, absolutely. No, they never, that was called libel. When Rolling Stone claimed I was that's libel, that's an act of libel in my opinion. When they do that, they claimed I was a fringe, bizarre candidate. Yeah, if I'm a fringe candidate, then I'm not in the public eye. And calling me bizarre is defamation of character. So they literally stuck themselves with that one statement. I mean, it literally indemnifies them. No, the blackface video was strictly to impress people who were aware of what freedom of speech is. Now, since a lot of you Democrats don't know what freedom of speech is and you want to suppress what freedom of speech is, and even though, you've got people all over the place impersonating Barack Obama, whenever an average person like me did it, you call me names. And it's been done throughout history by many people, but I was the first. She'll be in tonight, yes. I don't need any degrees or political experience to actually save the nation. You're living under the misnomer that corrupt cronies who are revolving door politicians are better than a guy who has no ties to government or no ties to corporations. I would argue that a guy like me is far more capable, and he's going to more likely represent you than a bunch of cronies that get stuck there because they sucked up to the right people. I think you know what I mean. I will need Secret Service protection once this campaign goes mainstream. It's probably going to have to happen. I would ask them to give me some support. Right now, we've got no real direct help from anybody that I can see, other than people, average Americans who make a donation or to talk about us, promote us to friends and family, which is great, and I really appreciate it. Obama doesn't really have any political experience even as president, simply because he's simply done whatever he's told. I feel sorry for Obama in a way. I used to dislike him intensely, but I feel sorry for him now. The teeth are great. What happened to your face? Beekman, what I'm doing differently? Well, I'm actually not doing anything differently than I was doing in 2007. The real problem is censorship. It has nothing to do with me. Yes, she'll be in tonight. Yeah, if I had something different I could do that could get past the censorship at YouTube or all the censorship in the mainstream media, I would do that. But I've already done a tremendous amount for what I intended to do. I've reached nearly 1 million people. I've been mentioned in Rolling Stone magazine, even if it's a derogatory mentioning. I've been talked about all over the U.S. Senate by Patty Murray, who likes to say bad things about me. That's what I've heard. I can't prove that. I'll be running for president the rest of my life. I can't show you the Rolling Stone mention because, like I said, I'm looking at it as libel at this point. I'm going to have to refrain from talking about it because there may be an investigation into the nature of the link. So, yeah, I'm a little concerned about the suppression of freedom of speech, and that's why I've been talking about the story, the evolving story that was ironically released. Hillary Clinton saying, "You guys are the first to realize that I'm really not even a human being." She says, "I was constructed in a garage in Palo Alto a very long time ago." Well, when I say I talk about it, I'm not going into detail. I'm just giving you the hit points. The fact that they even mentioned me is kind of pathetic. putting me in a category with a woman who I believe is speaking in tongues. They put me up against a woman speaking in tongues on that video that they played. All right, says, you guys are the first to realize. She says, people think that, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, they created it. Oh, no, I mean a man whose name shall remain nameless created me in his garage. Are there more of you? I thought he threw away the plans, at least that's what he told me when he programmed me, that there would be no more. I've seen more people that kind of don't sweat and other things. That makes me think maybe they are part of the new race that he created, the robot race. It goes on and on. I mean, I don't have to go into detail. I mean, if you want a link, check it out. I mean, it's really intense. I mean, tell your friends and family that Hillary has admitted she's a robot. All right, well, bottom line, speaker material for the United States is a person who tells the truth. And you want a puppet like Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, I'm not that guy. Sorry. So I failed your test and you failed mine as a good, honest viewer who just wants to keep an open mind. Now, she's not being funny at all. There's nothing funny about somebody claiming to be a robot. And then she never retracted the statement either. Yeah, so we are going to be looking probably at Joe Biden as president prior to the next election, folks. That's the news that I'm here to tell you. Well, Vanity Fair has already been sued for a lot of reasons. They don't just throw things out there, DJ Bad Boy. Seriously. They've had to settle out of court for millions of dollars. Yeah. Okay, Dave, I'm convinced she's a robot. Yeah, me too. It doesn't really matter. The fact is, what's really happening isn't happening. Open and free press, political discourse on a daily basis across the board with Americans. We're doing it right here, but you don't see that anywhere else in the media. We're the only one. No, Vanity Fair is not like the National Enquirer, no. It's a much more substantial magazine. In fact, it has a history dating back to the 1920s. Oh, excuse me, even earlier than the 20s. Well, me on TV, that's nice for you to live like a proverbial, person who just accepts the status quo here in America, but you're living in Paris. I don't really know. I mean, I'm not the person talking about Hillary Clinton being a robot. She is. Yeah, she's literally a robot made of mechanical parts, so let's all agree and move on, yeah. So, it really doesn't matter. What difference at this point does it make? So Condé Nast began his empire by purchasing the men's fashion magazine Dress in 1913. He renamed the magazine Dress and Vanity Fair and published 4 issues in 1913. David, did you see they actually sent the kid who created the White House, created the Radio Shack clock to the White House, and guess what else they did that same day? The White House ordered an entire group of children dying of cancer to leave the area and disperse. The day that they entertained that Muslim boy at the White House, they dispersed an entire group of people that were campaigning to support solutions for cancer of children. Don't have any white supremacy agenda, guys. I have no racial hatred whatsoever. I, in fact, am a racial integrationist. I've worked my whole life to bring integration forward. That's why I was so willing to do the blackface video. Because I thought this country got past all that. I really thought that we really had this ability to do a thing called freedom of speech, especially since we're not living in England. And we don't have laws against things like that. Well, you don't have to be an integrationist. I am. And I'm not here to force my will on you, but I openly want people to get along no matter what their color.
Can't we all just get along?
Yeah. Hi, Sarah.
What was his name?
Yeah, Rodney King. Let's listen to the famous I Have a Dream by Rodney King.
Martin Luther King.
No, Rodney King version. I Have a Dream.
Yeah, Rodney King version.
Can't we just get along? It's
Can't
a lot
we
simpler.
all just get along?
Exactly. Hi, how was your day?
Hello, I am Legion.
Yeah, he's here. He's learning.
Expect us.
Thank you.
Hello. Hi. Ooh.
Okay, Dave, YouTube has been shutting down truth and conspiracy channels in the past few days. Something might be going down soon, maybe another PSYOPs, yeah.
Maybe.
Thanks, Scissorfight, for telling
Sam.
me. I'm glad we don't fit into that category because these shows are open dialogues with the American people. We don't focus on one particular conspiracy issue. You know, that's what's really ironic. We're keeping an open mind to any questions that come up about anything like conspiracies. Now, many people don't understand that we're allowed to talk about things and allowed to disagree. And that's really important.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, can someone tell me why the president would want a Muslim kid to the White House for making a clock looking like a bleeping you know what? You know what? Yeah. And that same day, Obama turned away a whole group of kids that were dying of cancer. That same day. To put that boy in the White House and give him center stage, that Muslim boy.
Why did he turn away? He turned away a group dying of cancer.
Yeah, the children. I do have a link. Let me just Google it right now.
Rally for childhood cancer awareness was cut short in D.C.
Yeah, I think it's the same day that it happened. Yeah, here it is. Yep, they were told to leave and disperse the day that the Muslim boy was brought in. Southern Chester County has this story. A group of cancer-stricken children and their families were ejected from the park near the White House last weekend, ending the group's plans for a candlelight vigil to raise awareness of childhood cancer. It was part of a 2-day event called Cure Fest for childhood cancer.
They had a signed permit. They were friendly. They were just fighting for the children.
Yeah, they had a signed permit.
His son Eli died of leukemia 4 years ago.
Wow.
The Secret Service came in and they had machine guns with little kids in wheelchairs, some with legs missing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so there you have it, guys. Hey, I don't make this stuff up. The rat population in New York City is out of control. Wow, I didn't know that. Thanks for telling me. We're gonna have to get down in those slimy places where they have crocodiles. Maybe they got rid of the crocodile who's eating the rats. So now they have rats.
They had a permit that was good from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. They set up a stage with speakers and planned a musical performance. And when the music started playing, the Secret Service and Park Police ordered them out.
Yep.
They weren't even allowed access back to personal items that they left behind, like blankets and chairs.
They had to just disperse. They had to leave their blankets and chairs. All the cancer children. Folks, if you're not waking up to this right now and realizing how screwed up our country is, we wouldn't even have a third party. And I want to thank all of you who are waking up to the two-party corruption and how they're leading us to this really bad place where our government clearly doesn't know where it's going or what it's doing.
Oh.
That includes foreign policy and our budget.
So it wasn't that he was doing that. He was traveling to a speaking engagement at the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation's annual awards dinner. And so security closure for presidential movement was enacted at 7:15 p.m.
Somebody said, what state would you not live in? What state would you refuse to live in? I would live anywhere. I like America. I love America. What do you know, this is the greatest country on earth still, but we've got a lot of corruption in our government. And I don't mind telling you flat out, guys, that if we don't form a political movement, that corruption will lead to the RFID chipping of ourselves and our family. That's something that they've got working right now with Obamacare. They've got the plan to chip people. And I wouldn't be mentioning this if it wasn't such a huge issue. But we started our pre-show talking about what Hillary Clinton was doing, and her attempt to essentially create, I guess, the collective will. The social Democrats have this idea that the collective will is greater than the individual, and they're willing to do anything to sacrifice the rights of the individual to do this. Everything does not seem to go back to paranoia at all. No, Beekman. That's just not true. There's no paranoia here going on. I'm talking about what the government's clearly avoiding. They're not telling us everything. We look for evidence. We didn't see any evidence of this Umpqua Community College shooting. If you guys want to pass judgment on a situation that had 4 photographs, you can pass judgment.
I believe that it did happen. There was a LA Times article that I just read yesterday. Mm-hmm. Actually, I read 2 of them. One of them was about a gentleman who posted on his Facebook wall about how he was shot 5 times, lived, and posted on Facebook, hey, if you want to, if you don't believe it happened, come talk to me.
Yeah. And, nobody's come talk to him. Every time somebody tries to come talk to him, he's not there. He's actually, what he's doing is, it's called controlled opposition. He's putting out a lie that he was the person shot 5 times. I have a picture of that person, Mintz is his name. He collected $1 million on his GoFundMe page in like 4 or 5 days. And I have a picture of Mintz, which doesn't profile him in a good way. Now, this is a guy who, anybody can write on Twitter saying, I'm appalled that people would think I'm lying. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he does. He has it's a serious situation when people make up stories.
I agree. It would be awful if someone made up a story, but that story definitely sounded real to me.
Well, I don't have the picture right in front of me right now until oh, here it is. I do have it right in front of me. This is the picture he made, claiming to have been shot many times. These people are using symbolic messages. This is a satanic message that they're actually holding in their hand.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm telling you, this really is.
I would say that...
These are the people that took $1 million to lie to the American people that he was the only hero. Sarah, nobody heard any shots at Umpqua. There was no shots heard. You really believe this is an honest, good person here? I mean, gosh. Why would he produce this picture if he was a good person? Gangland sign, Sarah. Come on. Wake up. $1 million in his GoFundMe page.
Like Meow TV2 said, a lot of people use that sign for rock and roll.
All right, whatever. We can disagree on this. It doesn't really matter. The fact of the matter is there's no photographs of any dead bodies at Umpqua. No blood evidence of any kind of attack that occurred. Nobody heard any shots except for one woman who claims she heard it 1,100 feet away. And she came out like a day and a half later saying, oh, yes, I heard shots. They were very real. You need to, all of us have to look at the reality that with such little evidence, and, there's only 4 pictures of the entire event that have been rotating around the media. There are 4 pictures. There's the hospital picture. There's a picture of the cell phones being apprehended. And why were all those cell phones apprehended at the university or at the community college? Why did they take their cell phones? That's a good question, yeah. So the lack of proof. She never was a fan of Conspiracy Mondays.
I've never been a fan of Conspiracy Mondays and never will be.
Yeah.
Today I said, why? Yeah.
Yeah, why even come in the show? I know. Well, I'll tell you what, Sarah. I'm going to make it real easy for you. I'm going to go ahead and get my coffee, and then you can leave as soon as you're done. Okay? Thanks.
Okay. I mean, it's not... I thought that was a compelling article, I would say, in the LA Times that was supposedly written about Christmas. I mean, I suppose there are some conspiracies that are out there that are probably real, but... Yeah, I probably did, but oh well. I think that it's fine to question things and pull up proof, and I don't think that Mintz should... I mean, maybe Mintz is using that money for his medical bills, all the money that he got from GoFundMe. I suppose taking all the phones, they could have been using them for evidence against the people, but then the guy died, so why would they take their phones? I think he thinks they're fake. Okay, Scissor Fight, you have a video. Well, I didn't say 7 times, I said 5.
Well,
Okay, here's a thing. I'll say for this when David plays it when he comes back in the room.
I'll be fine.
A Facebook post and pick review plus truth versus truth virus channel terminated. Professor Doom 1.
Oh, the Professor Doom was terminated?
No, this is a video by Professor Doom 1, but he said truth virus channel terminated.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I agree. Some of the mass shootings are suspect. No, David never did that.
Yes. They're pretty indestructible.
That's nice.
They're
Yeah.
pretty indestructible. Wow.
Guess that doesn't
tie a
have
knot
that
on.
eye.
I've never seen I've never seen that happen before.
I did read that. Do I think the Bin Laden raid happened the way it happened? Beekman asked. I did read that the book by the guy who claimed he was part of the group that went in, and in the book he said, I didn't think it really looked like Bin Laden. So that leaves a lot of opening for it to not have been Bin Laden, I'll say. Bin Laden could have died years before. They could have used that to say, oh, Obama got Bin Laden. So, no, that is one theory I can say. I don't necessarily think it happened the way people said it did, is the Bin Laden incidents.
Many people don't understand that Sarah and I went through a pretty bad situation about 7 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, something like that. And it was a traumatic experience. And people spinning stories or lies about that is not, none of that's
Okay, I'll play this.
anything at all. What we went through some pretty horrific things. And, we want everyone to know that our nation depends on honest people like Sarah and I running for office. Our nation's future depends on it. And anybody trying to malign my character is just really grasping at straws.
And asked him to meet with him face to face, and Chris Mintz has refused and has removed his post
Check this
from
out.
his Facebook account. Not this post, but the person who met his challenge. But guess what? Let's go back to what he had to say in his post. My legs felt like ice.
Look at this. He's moving his legs around, everything. Wow, these are the people that made the signs of the devil.
Wow, look at those legs move like a couple hamsters in a hamster wheel.
He lied, see?
I'm telling you right now, if you had all of that was broken, like you state, is he no longer in any kind of pain where he's just moving them with that? No.
Yeah, see, this is the thing, folks. We're dealing with a guy who's willing to do whatever somebody tells him for $1 million. How many people in here, if they were offered $1 million, would lie about being a hero at an event like that, even though it didn't happen? Seriously, how many of you would do it for $1 million? You can say yes or no, just tell the truth. Because I did a poll in our show the other day, and I was surprised how many people would do this. Apparently we're not getting any answers. Oh, there they are. No way. Not me. Nope. Hell yes, he says. 915 says, yeah. 66 says, make it 10 million. Yep. Thank you. You do it for 10 million? See, some people are willing to do it for money, Sarah. Yes, I'll post the links of that video, absolutely. So, look, I'm not here to judge people who don't believe that conspiracies might be happening in the world. Historically, they've happened throughout history.
Right.
And to say that every single conspiracy makes somebody a whack job, no.
I never said that.
No, but I mean the
think
common
it's great
belief
that
that people
question things,
yeah.
But you
don't have to,
I don't know.
You don't have to question anything if you don't want to.
It's not that I do question things, and I go and read news, and I guess I do believe the news. So
yeah, a lot of people do. And when it comes on the LA Times,
I hate you. So there fight.
No, but when it comes on the on the heels of the LA Times, and they say something loud and clear, and you see something right in your face, you believe the LA Times, or you believe that the mainstream media is telling you the truth. And that's the big question you have to get past, is why would the mainstream media tell you the truth? If the truth led to a nation questioning their authority of the government, or even trying to re-engineer a better government with new people, they don't want you to ask those questions that create truth or bring you truth. They want people just to vote two parties and never break out of the box.
Aye.
That's what they're really banking on, too. That all of us are just going to sit here and go, oh, I believe you. Oh, yes. Well, maybe Hillary will help now because Obama didn't do very well. Ha, 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 ha. And many people who voted for Obama are now thinking that. It's Hillary's turn now. Yeah, drink the Kool-Aid. Anyway, half of what you read and see you should believe. Somebody said you're only supposed to believe half of what you see and read, Sarah. Fact. Hey, no, the bottom line is I entered this chapter, the Conspiracy Monday chapter, because I have so many people on the internet, Sarah, that don't feel that they have a voice in politics, and that they actually need somebody to actually open the questions on a daily basis, that need to see evidence to verify something's happened.
Right.
We just, the really inquiring minds really need a political movement, be honest. And that's something, just because you and I may disagree on issues like this, doesn't mean we both don't agree on everything on our website. We do.
Right.
We believe our plan for America is accurate and well thought out and can solve problems. Well, no, I've actually said, Still Too Lazy, that the FEC rules say that a candidate running for any office can lie. There's no law that says you have to tell the truth. And that's an interesting fact about the FEC, that they can literally, allow people to munch garbage and talk about things recklessly, and lie to them. Like when Barack Obama said.
Oh, go ahead.
When Barack Obama said, "Well, make no mistake about it, there won't be any mandatory health insurance." That was a classic lie. I mean, he said it at a time that he got political favor for it by saying it wasn't going to be mandatory, and lo and behold, it became mandatory.
There was another thing that the Supreme Court said people can lie about having any type of military service, and that actually was a politician who sued because he, during his political career, he claimed that he had served in the military. He never had. They had at the time, this was before, so at the time they had the Stolen Valor Act was an actual law, and I believe they arrested him, I'm not sure, but anyway, they took him out of office, and he sued saying, I can say I was in the military even though he wasn't. He sued, went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said the freedom of speech pertains to allowing people to lie about their military record, and they found that this Stolen Valor Act was actually unconstitutional. I mean, so the only way to make it so people can't lie about their military service is to actually make it part of the Constitution.
Yeah, so it's up to us to really pass a constitutional amendment making it illegal to lie about your military background. Yeah.
David recently told me about someone that was arrested because they claimed they were part of the CIA and were not. I don't know if that happened before the Stolen Valor Act was found unconstitutional. That could have been part of that because they...
No, this happened recently. In fact, it's a fraud issue because he was making money as a CIA expert.
Oh, okay.
He was drawing a salary, and he had no connection with the CIA. So it's a case of fraud and misrepresentation. But it's interesting to see the Supreme Court rule that it's okay to lie about your military record, which to me is a precedent for people to lie on the stand, which I think is terrible. It sends the wrong message. I believe that the Supreme Court made a mistake on that one, personally.
Well, they claimed that, people could have been joking around, like, get drunk and joke around, oh, yeah, sure, I served in the Navy. Mm-hmm. And then somebody say, oh, you say you served in the Navy? You should be arrested before the Stolen Valor Act. So that's
right.
That's what the Supreme Court...
Well, yeah. We need more teeth to our laws, especially when it comes to the hard work and effort military puts into their career.
I don't think so. Still too lazy to sign up. I'd have to look into that, but I don't think that's the case. I think there could be fraud issues if you applied for a certain job or something, but I don't necessarily think that's the case.
Boy, we got a lot of good stuff rolling out on the internet, and if they do continue to give the YouTube capabilities to people, all this stuff with false flags are going to be picked apart like fish food in a piranha tank. The people on the internet do deep research on their own, and these people are motivated. They spend hours at night, seriously, researching a lot of this information. There was one story we run.
Yeah.
I run a story on Sandy Hook at night. I'll do it tonight. It's an hour-and-a-half show of all these different people that put together all these questions about the redacted evidence that the Connecticut State Police put out 11 months after the Sandy Hook event allegedly took place. So they go out of their way to show you that there were no kids. There were no kids at the event leaving the school. There was no evidence of any kids leaving. The 600 kids didn't leave the school. There's no video of that at all. And we have pretty good evidence the school was shut down due to asbestos contamination during the time that they claimed that the event happened. All this stuff is just mind-blowing, and all of it's credible. The questions that people are asking, doing the hard work to find out what really is going on here. So, you guys don't have to believe that the government is in any way spinning false flags as part of an op, but Sister Fight has actually sent us some pretty interesting links where they're actually planning on crisis actors gathering together to do reenactments all around the country. And at any time, those enactments can go live. Now, there are people that claim the 9/11 attack was an enactment as well, that the government was running an operation to attack the buildings, et cetera, and they actually ran an operation that same day.
Yeah, they did run an operation that same day.
But they went live with it. But yet George W. Bush said he never even heard of anything like planes attacking the Trade Center before. Yet he was given information in his notes. Condoleezza Rice actually delivered that information months in advance of the 9/11 attack. So we will talk about that tomorrow night. All right. I heard about the thousands of witnesses floating sky mirage in China. This is Operation Bluebeam. The government can create, anywhere in the world they can create, when I say government, I mean the world government. They can create holograms. All right, so looking at this, we're going to look at a hologram. I didn't see that. Okay, there. Oh yes, there's a castle in the sky. See it?
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, you're looking at possibly a hologram, and this ability is getting better and better as time goes on. The ability to manipulate the atmosphere is part of what we're experiencing. This is Operation Bluebeam. You can see descending images of Jesus coming down from the sky. They can make that happen. There was a horseman flying above an Islamic community the other day. It's a mirage, exactly. Yeah, Bluebeam. Thank you. You guys are really on top of it. Well, just look it up, Bluebeam. Operation Bluebeam.
Frankie has an article about China overtaking U.S. billionaires world.
Well, China,
America's richest.
Frankie, yeah, please don't buy the rumor that China has a stronger economy than ours. They rely heavily on our economy to succeed.
The previous one.
Where is it?
Above. He has like 3 of them all together. For the first one.
Oh, don't send so many links at once, Frankie. I can't even process them. Okay. Yeah, it's like hard to even grab.
We can get rid of that.
No, I mean, these are all stories. Yeah, I process these stories all into the evening.
Processing stories.
I do. I spend 2 hours processing stories every night.
Yeah.
I have a link library of almost 3,000 links. We don't need a new world order, and the reason we don't need a new world order is because it's never succeeded. There's never ever been a single global government that took over and did anything other than steal, cheat, lie, and commit genocide. Yeah, you were at Disneyland, they have holograms of people that are dead, and if they look like they're on stage still alive, if you filmed it, it would look real, scary. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, 2611. Back in the 1970s, they had a hologram at the haunted house at Disneyland. In the early 70s, they had a hologram. So they've got perfected technology now. They can beam something in the atmosphere and almost change the atmosphere on a subatomic level to make it look like something.
We don't have a dog. We do have a cat.
Thank you.
What are you doing, kitty cat? Come here.
Yeah, you can say we have a new world order, but it's just the monarchy rebranding themselves. We have a monarchy and we're still living in a feudalistic state. It's not a new world order at all. Thank you, Sarah, for giving me a break. I appreciate it. She's going to try to lasso the kitty into our show here. Well, you could call whatever your current new world order. It's really the monarchy of the past. There she is. The squirming kitty. Okay, let's see if we can bring in the second mic, or second cam. It's kitty cam time. Yeah. Yeah, things are looking real nowadays.
I think that's upside down.
Yeah, it is. Hey, it came in perfectly. You must have fixed it.
Yeah, I hit reset.
Oh, you're good. That helped a lot. That camera actually looks good now.
It should. It's a pretty good camera. It's not one of our cheapies. It's actually the one we used to use all the time.
Feel free to go ahead and do a background check on me, folks. Anybody who wants to spend the money, you're wasting your time, though. The cat is lagging. No, she's just frozen. She's still looking in one position. Well, Sarah's she's doing great. We work out all the time. Sarah and I do. We have a swim spa, and I do a daily workout, and Sarah swam over the weekend. You look great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I guess that new makeup too.
Oh yeah.
Makeup does wonders.
It's true. Anyway. No, of course you would not have my social security number. Who in their right mind would ask such an idiotic question?
No, but I was tempted.
All right. Check this out. Another hologram. Star Wars stripper.
Now let's see if we can't figure out what you are, my good friend. Where you come from. That's not part of the message you
Oh gosh.
Is this really a scene in Star Wars, or was this cut?
No, but they have a scene in Star Wars of a hologram version of Princess Leia saying, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope."
Oh, okay.
And that's like
Bye, Amber.
So they do have a hologram in Star Wars, but it's not of that.
You worked on holograms in the early 80s? That's nice. That was too funny, yeah. Well, I'm here to talk about the rising problems with illegal aliens tonight.
Okay.
So I'll talk about that and the conspiracy to
Is there
put illegal aliens in our...
conspiracy related we can talk about?
The conspiracy that there are no conspiracies. That everything anyone says that's conspiracy is deemed insane. Let's talk about that. Does that seem like a good non-conspiracy?
What else is going on?
Okay, what is going on in the news? Well, Chris Mintz did another cameo appearance in front of the TV shows, so that everyone believes he really did take 5 shots.
Yeah.
We've got a person in here who's psychotic, folks. We ban him on a daily basis. He has like 20 screens open. Let's see the news. Don't worry, it's just a psychotic who's threatening my life. No big deal. Oscar Pistorius is released from prison, but put under house arrest. Holy cow! They got the clock kid at the White House. I know. Well, yeah. Obama is Muslim, but you don't have to agree. He hasn't been back to a church since he abdicated his faith with Reverend Wright. Well, it doesn't look suspicious because what he's doing is he's slandering me, and anybody who's slandering me, I'm gonna ban him from the show. That's right up there with defamation, denigration, demoralization, all the D words. He's trying to disrespect me too. Yeah, well, being a Muslim, Obama hasn't been back to a church since he abdicated his faith. And one of the interesting things about Barack Obama is he did a speech at Georgetown University, a Catholic church-based university. The first speech he did in 2009 when he became president, actually. And he asked for the wording of Jesus to be removed, and they had to put a box over it. So here's a guy who clearly doesn't like the word Jesus. They put a box over it. I'm not making this up. He covered it up with a tarp, yeah. Nope, I got to take over here.
Wait.
Did you edit the videotapes?
Can you pause this?
We create summary videos similar to the summary videos that you...
Okay, what is this about?
This is CNN.
The punishment for a swatter, in my opinion, should be 10 years in jail.
Yeah.
That would keep people from doing it. The guy on the East Coast got a year and 1 day. But they just got a guy who did 6 different swatting attacks on the East Coast.
It should be consecutive terms.
It should be for each swat. It should be 6 separate terms of swatting, 1 year each. The video was so loud because it was so loud. It's a CNN video. She's screening it right now. No, swatter. People who call up, lie about something happening, and then have law enforcement come out unnecessarily on the tax dollar to harass innocent people. And it happened to Sarah and I about 8 weeks ago. No, you're psychotic, dude. I have no history of any involvement with anything like that. I'm not a white supremacist. I'm not a person who hangs out in weird places with, and I've never had any cocaine issues in my life. I mean, the kind of stuff that people are trying to throw at me really show how desperate they are to try to malign my crystal clear character and background. I wouldn't even be running for president if I had a history of anything. Seriously, I've kept my entire nose clean all my life just to make sure that nothing like that crap would ever materialize. And here they are, making up stories. You thought that was funny? It was not a pun. But you can see whatever it is. Tonight I'm going to talk a little bit later about brain control and what kind of things are used to control our brain and dull our senses. Later tonight, probably in about an hour, I'll start talking about brain control and the Illuminati sex puppets that are out there being used to control legislators.
Like 2372.
Yeah, we had to purge you. Yeah, so update. Oprah has invested in Weight Watchers and shares...
I've doubled of Weight Watchers as a result.
She's doubled in size because of Weight Watchers?
No.
Oh, I didn't know. Had she lost weight or is she doubling in size? No, not the sex slave. Not now. It'll be much later. I know, 2611. Are you my attorney? I told you not to come in the chat room. Thank you. Yeah, it's inappropriate to talk about the case in the chat. Thank you very much. Bring on the sex slaves. I don't do that just during the show. It's like an after show event. Well, we would take the message outside if I wanted my head blown off. And we're not the third party, we're the third party, but thank you. Yeah, it's not enough that I do a nightly show talking every night transparently with the American people on a literally 7,000 hours I've been doing this. Why don't you take the camera and videotape yourself and send it to YouTube? You have a better chance of getting hits than I do. You could photograph yourself, brushing your teeth, and you get more hits than I'll get. No problem. I heard the sinking of the Titanic led to the creation of the U.S. Federal Reserve. Yeah. That's a very interesting story. A long, long time ago, folks, they put together the Federal Reserve, a private banking consortium. And they did it by getting all of the key people who were against a central bank to get tickets on the Titanic. The novel Futility, an 1898 creation of Morgan Robertson, detailed the sinking of an unsinkable ship. This imaginary ship, named Titan, collided with an iceberg during April, resulting in a high loss of life because the ship carried too few lifeboats. 14 years later, with uncanny similarities, the real ship, Titanic, recreated what happened in the novel. The two ships had almost identical names. Both ships were designed unsinkable, and both were touted as the largest ships at sea. Both collided with icebergs. In April, both resulted in many deaths due to a shortage of lifeboats. Plus, both had strikingly similar floor plans and technical descriptions. And all the wealthiest people, some of the wealthiest people, were all killed when it sank. Benjamin Guggenheim, Isidor Straus, the head of Macy's department, John Jacob Astor, probably the wealthiest man in the world, were killed. Those three men were the main opposition, this is important, to the creation of the U.S. Fed. By April 1912, all opposition to the Federal Reserve was eliminated. In December of 1913, the Federal Reserve came into being in the United States, controlled by the Illuminati banksters. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah, for coming in. Sarah's the one who's been very vocal about how money is printed out of thin air, and she's going to talk about. It's created. Yeah, she'll talk about that another time.
Yep.
Thank you.
It only has value because you believe it has value. I believe it has value.
No, discrediting me, claiming I'm this or that because I banned you is not a way to get unbanned. How about those Mets? Yeah, what did they win, 3 in a row now or 2 in a row?
I don't know.
I haven't tracked it. Joe Biden's still having those little, momentary thoughts in his mind where he wants to be president. I believe he will be president prior to the election. I believe that the evidence on Benghazi will become so obvious that the Democrats are going to have to let go of Hillary and Obama, and ultimately they're going to have to press charges against Hillary. I believe you guys are going to lose your key guy in the Democratic Party, your key woman. And I believe that Barack Obama will be probably impeached in order for the Democratic Party to save face at the end. The truth of what happened in Benghazi is starting to pop out, and the thing about those emails is a lot of those emails went to other places, so they're piecing all the evidence together, and they're going to come firing back, and I think it's going to be a loud and resounding no. We don't believe you, Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. I really believe it will be the end of Obama's presidency, and that will put Joe Biden as our president, and frankly, I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. I've always liked Joe personally. I don't know him. But I always liked his general attitude toward politics. As a Democrat for 30 years, I actually was one of the few people that blogged on his site back in 2007 when he was running. You may not like Joe Biden, but I think you're going to be stuck with him as your president up until the end of the election. That's my personal take. That's what I believe. Yeah. You may not like him. I personally don't have a problem. I would love for him to appoint me as the vice president. That'd be great. Anybody who claims this is a scam is a complete liar and will be purged and banned from the show. Everything we do is 100% FEC compliant. You can go to our website and it'll prove to you that we are 100% on the dot every quarter submitting information about any donators or any money spent. Well, this is the thing. The Hillary Clinton and the Bill Clinton fiasco has carried our nation into a hole, both against the Chinese, because obviously this trade imbalance is mostly due to the Clintons. I can blame most of the trade imbalance on the Clintons. But I'm going to blame the new anger that China has toward us on Donald Trump, because he's the guy that's pissing off China right now. I've never done that, no. And I'm not here to talk about Uncle Joe. I'm just saying I don't have a problem with him. I would have much preferred him as president than Barack Obama, personally. No, I'm not full of crap. I took a good BM this morning. But thank you for asking. Yeah, he's a total tool to drive votes toward Hillary. And basically there's nobody to vote for. Hillary is a robot. By her own admission in Vanity Fair, she's a robot. So there's a choice between a robot and a greedy, despotic, corrupt pig named Donald Trump. Oh, I'll get it. Yeah, we don't take calls from that person, you know who. Yeah. Well, I would lovely, if any of you want to call, you certainly can. I'm not compliant at all. I can tell you. Oh, no, you're talking about the FEC. Oh, yes. I thought you meant I was a compliant person who just wanted to accept everything as it is. But yes, I am compliant with the FEC, yes. Not easily tractable or led or buyable or compliable. Oh, of course, I would prefer, frankly, at this point, if Biden handled the final year of Obama's fiasco, that'd be fine with me. And then the Democrats can preem him for the re-election, and I'll still be running, of course, and I'll run against Biden. There's a lot of issues I don't like Biden on, and I can definitely run against Biden, and I can run against Trump. You think Biden is a likable and humbled guy? He had so much tragedy. He's got the luck of the Kennedys. Yeah, I agree. And what happened with the loss of his two sons is one to the death, or not, yeah. One son is now got cocaine issues. Yeah. I don't like his pictures that Biden has with people in an uncompromising position, but you see what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to position myself as a potential nominee for the vice presidency to fill in for Biden when he becomes our president in 2015. Jolton Joe Biden. Come on. We're in the, oh, of course. I should have remembered. He's a presidential candidate, potentially. Yeah. Well, let's be clear. Okay, kind of slow today. There it is. Yeah, we got a couple of weird pictures where he likes to touch women. Now, if this was Sarah and he was doing that to Sarah, I'd turn around and I wouldn't slap him or anything. I'd say, "Hey, Joe, can you get off her back, please?" I'd interrupt the entire event. Could you not, touch my girlfriend? Thanks. Yeah, it's a little too close. So when you see these things go down, you're like, oh yeah, okay, well. And there was that weird one where he had that little girl he was sitting next to, kind of, Is that Chanel number 9? Okay, I guess. Anyway, I think Biden has a better sense of humor than Barack Obama, and that's one of the reasons why I like him. Yeah. Frankly, when you look at all the creeps that are running out there, I like myself the best. And I'm not a creep. Yeah, I heard the government's pushing for gun control. I know. It's all part of the leftist move. It's coming from the left. Was that John? I believe that was a Bob Dylan song, right? Yeah, well, there's a lot of things from the communist direction that is causing our nation to lose its freedoms, and one of those is our Second Amendment, which is under attack by these people. Barack American? What's that?
This election year, the choice is clear. One man stands ready to deliver change we desperately need. A man I'm proud to call my friend. A man who will be the next president of the United States, Barack America.
Barack America. All I can say is he'd be a good filler for the final year. I really don't have a problem with him. We do need another Kennedy in the office, but we need one that doesn't have sex with all the girls down there in the wine closet. When I was in Hyannisport, I was there visiting my brother, and they were talking about how good I was on the 2-minute sex job. I mean, it's not what your country can do for you, it's what you do to your country. Seriously. I got to ask you guys, do you really think that John F. Kennedy was a scumbag? Because I like John F. Kennedy. I really did. He's one of my favorite presidents of all time. He definitely is ahead of Abraham Lincoln on a major scale. I still like Andrew Jackson. You didn't know him? I knew Kennedy, and you're no Kennedy. Well, I just know that he was under a lot of pain, and he was my idol. And I was, 2, 3 years old when he died? I wished I had met him too, yeah. He wasn't a scumbag, and I doubt he had sex with those women down there in the wine closet like they say he did. But if he was a scumbag and you don't like him, you got to like what the energy that he brought to the country, at the very least. How to cob a pumpkin with an AK-47. I never saw Ted do that.
Forget everything you've ever learned about how Hickok 45 carves a pumpkin, because this year we're going to use another common household tool.
Pumpkin carving. Here we go. He's ready to go. That he's a highly trained, seasoned veteran at pumpkin shooting. There you go. I missed. Oh, that's purposeful. Nice. I'm not going to wait till he makes a smiley face on there to listen to those gunshots. I get the whole point. I kind of look like Jimmy Carter when I was younger. You really believe that, huh? Well, let me give you a couple pictures to look at. Those of you who really like Hillary, we'll give you a picture of her to look at. You think his brother killed Marilyn? There's a lot of talk about how Teddy was trying to get in on that action. Oh no. And then I have a picture of the baby Donald, who gets pissed off every time somebody says something bad about him. He calls women bleeding from their eyes. Oh yeah, real bright, intelligent candidate there. Somebody told him he could, with all his money, he could be anything. And there he is, trying to be president. I heard Joe Biden has a little difficult time with math. It's no big deal. Nice one. It's an awful picture. Would you rather see the robot? The Hillary Clinton robot 2015? Which do you prefer? I was always from the left. I told you, Beekman, I was an ex-Democrat of 30 years. Come on, man. I've never misrepresented myself here. I lean to the center, and now I support, of course, all you guys who support gun rights. I'm there with you. I will never go against gun rights supporters. I stand behind you, even though the NRA gave me a C- because I talked about a verification process, but whatever. Well, I was originally a Democrat. That's to the left of the center, and then I moved over to the right, and now I'm in the center. Well, you can see my 1,000-mile border fence that Donald Trump stole from me. I came up with that idea in 2008. And the concept is a lot different than Donald Trump's, of course. I'm not going to get Mexico to pay for it. Of course, I would gladly talk about Hillary being a lesbian if we had some proof. Well, no, I'm not. Actually, I support the Second Amendment, like I said. I definitely want American free enterprise to get back on track, and I support jump-starting it. But because I want the government to get a return on investment and get involved in jump-starting and creating American jobs, you simply call me a leftist. You see? You're on the right wing. You're a neocon, Beekman, who's sitting on the fence there. You're right next to Karl Rove. You two could have a little Brokeback Mountain experience and discover how bi-curious you are. I'm not a chicken hawk Republican, okay? And I don't in any way pretend to be one. Yeah, I don't see Hillary as anything other than, a woman who's clearly obsessed with power. And a guy, Donald Trump, who's clearly obsessed with spanking the monkey. So, something's wrong here with the political spectrum. And if you don't realize it, you're the voter. You guys are going to realize it soon enough that you're not getting representation at all. Okay, this story from Hot Air. California Lieutenant Governor wants to do background checks on ammo. Yeah, I don't support ammo background checks. I mean, I don't support registration. I've only supported the idea of a verification process, but a lot of people on the right, they don't want to give an inch. I've noticed that about people who are stolid Second Amendment supporters. Calling Cobain a man who's dead, who can't even defend himself, a junkie, is really rude. There's every evidence that Kurt Cobain was killed. Larry David plays Bernie Sanders in a debate. Let's see if this is funny. Burn your enthusiasm.
There is certainly a lot of excitement in this room tonight for the first Democratic debate of the 2016 campaign. I'm Anderson Cooper. Thanks for joining us. Let's begin. Senator Sanders, a Gallup poll says half the country would not put a socialist in the White House. You call yourself a Democratic socialist. How can any kind of socialist win a general election in the United States?
I can't wait to see that. I can't play it to you because of the Digital Copyright Millennium Act and how they won't allow me to play anything longer than 23 seconds or 24 seconds. No, Kurt Cobain turned down a $10 million contract with Bumper Shoot, and Courtney was pissed off. Okay, congrats. You're number one, just passed the Canadian elections as number two. Thank you. Cool. So the Canadian elections drop behind me. Thank you. David, who do you think gives a better one-liner, you or Biden? I'm the funniest guy on earth, so clearly I win. I've been told that I'm the funniest person alive. But I don't like to brag. I'm too humble for that. No, I'm not going to annex Canada. I like Canada. We don't want Canada to believe anything is wrong with trade with the U.S. I think trade with Canada is good for both of us. We just can't allow them to take any more of our lobsters. Yeah, I refuse to allow them to lobster trap in Maine waters. Never mind. Okay, I don't believe background checks on ammo is something I would ever even see happening in our country. They can't track anything. There are people that are buying more guns now because of the extreme left position of gun control. Guns are all-time high last month. September was the biggest month of gun sales in the history of our country. I did meet Robin Williams when I was a young man. I was 15 years old. I met him when he was about 26. Except he didn't meet me. I just saw him in person. I stood about 10 feet away. And he was brilliant. He really was. When I saw Robin Williams, that first thing I thought was, there's a guy who's brilliant, and something very dark is going to happen. I knew it. I just sensed it. And when I found out that he was killed, I was shocked. I was really shocked. And then they talked about it being a suicide. Yeah, I did meet Robin Williams in a theater in 1975. My sister was trying out for a play in Hollywood, and I went with her one night, and Robin Williams walked down the aisle in his little shtick, pretending to be an Eastern European, and he wasn't even, nobody knew him at the time. This is before, no, and the whole, mental breakdown thing that happened, a depression, etc. But I don't believe depression killed Robin Williams. I think a noose around his neck did. And anybody could have garroted him. Yeah, he knew too much, and he made some very politically intolerant, politically intolerant statements about Obama and Bush that I think may have got him killed. I don't know. So are you open to the idea of people being killed in our country for believing what they believe? Do you believe that that's happening? You believe that JFK was killed by not Lee Harvey Oswald, but by somebody else, maybe? No, Bill Hicks is doing great. He's got a show. It's called The Alex Jones Show. Yeah, he was never dead. You're saying it happens all the time? Well, people can throw stones and, weird things at presidents. It's possible. Here's George W. Bush dodging appears to be a Three Stooges gimmick. I don't know. It's just, so we all are going to be dealing with a lot of weird stuff. What do you mean it doesn't look like him? I can give you solid evidence that it looks like him. Plus, I can give you him saying that he actually is Alex. Alex is Bill Hicks. You didn't know that? Where have you been? Alex Jones, getting ready to retire. He's admitted that he is Bill Hicks. The story's out. I mean, it's really been proven. I mean, the face is identical. But that's like saying I'm Alex Jones. I could talk like him. Okay, everybody, you're going to be on the red list. They're going to RFID chip everybody. But I'm not him.
Are you rolling? You ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
Can't believe it's come to this. But
it has come to this.
they cornered me, I gotta be honest. It's gotten too big. I just gotta admit it right now. Okay. This is really hard for me to do. I've been doing this so long, it's hard to give up. Give up on the character and go back to who I really was. You got me, okay? Are you happy now? You bastards? Yes, I am Bill Hicks.
All right. Thank you very much for speaking the truth. It's taken so long to find out the truth about you, buddy. Yeah. That was good. So yeah, he's already admitted it. I'm more like James Earl Jones? Well, I'm a different color than James Earl Jones, in case you didn't know. Who the hell is Bill Hicks? Well, Bill Hicks was this guy that many people have said acted, talked, and behaved like Alex. It's not really that important. I mean, the whole evidence, the train of evidence has been blown now that Bill Hicks banned appearance on the late night David Letterman show. This is before he pretended to die.
Okay, so we're going to take a look here tonight, and I want you folks to enjoy this, honestly.
Real men don't dance, they sit, sweat, and curse.
All right, this is Alex before he decided to go undercover and work for the industrial military complex as a shill for controlled opposition for our government. Prison Planet and the site we know as InfoWars was created by Lockheed Martin, Skunk Works. Back in the early days, when the internet was starting, Skunk Works Productions, the Lockheed Martin organization, was the original owner of those two sites. And now they're no longer there. No, you need to look into it. I've got Apple. In fact, tonight I'll be playing a reveal as to significant reasons why Bill Hicks is Alex Jones. Alex Jones actually accepted an award for Bill Hicks, and we have him on camera, and we'll be playing that video tonight. Okay, the world has hit its credit limit, according to Zero Hedge. Yeah, and that's why they need a war. I'm not following the Canadian elections. This is strictly an American show. You'll have to give me updates. I'm not here to violate any kind of Logan Act and control politics in another country. I'm not a member of the Council on Foreign Relations. I would never do that. I'm not trolling you. Okay, here we go. Bond, capital markets, central banks, default, high yields, hyperinflation. 1 month ago, when looking at the dramatic change in the market landscape, when the first cracks in the central planning facade became evident, and it appeared that central banks are in the process of rapidly losing credibility and the faith of an entire generation of traders whose only trading strategy is to BTFD. We presented a critical report by Citigroup's Matt King, who asks, has the world reached its credit limit? Summarize the two biggest financial issues facing the world at this stage. First is that even as central banks have continued pumping record amounts of liquidity into the market's response has been increasingly shaky, and in no small part due to the surge in the dollar and the resulting emerging market debt crisis. And it's good the dollar has strength. That's true. I know, it's not a big deal. The fact that he's working as a government shill is way more important than him changing his name from Bill Hicks to Alex Jones. And what happened to the real Alex Jones? That's another question I could take you down the rabbit hole on. Okay, let's get to the second part. The second, after the greater problem facing the world, is precisely what the Fed and its central bank peers have been fighting all along: too much global debt, accumulating an ever faster pace while the global growth is stagnant and, in fact, declining. You can see the decline there. A little line going down. No, Bill, if he died of pancreatic cancer, he'd be in the 0.05 percentile of people that die at the age of 35 or 34. 0.05% die of pancreatic cancer at the age of 34. Thank you. I do my research. All right. I might like that. Through email? Okay. Sounds good. All right, I'm not here to talk about Alex Jones. It's irrelevant. He's just going to continue to spin off his lies that are, controlled opposition. The powerful elitists will lead all battles against them. They have enough money to buy everybody, except for me. Somebody said, are you a Bilderberger? And of course not. I won't even attend a meeting. There's no way I will attend a Bilderberg meeting unless they do it publicly in front of C-SPAN. Would you agree that's the best way to do it? Publicly in front of C-SPAN? I think Biden is going to be our president toward the end of this election, of this time period. And then he'll run for president. I'm pretty sure Biden's going to take over for Barack Obama. I'm not sure what exactly the circumstances that'll lead to that, but I'm pretty sure Biden will be our president toward the end of this cycle. I know I feel kind of like the world's on my shoulders. I really feel like I was born this way. I'd be kidding you if I said I didn't feel extremely concerned about the destiny that this nation is in and where we're at relative to the environment and the crisis that's ensuing around the world, the economic crisis. Jeremy Grantham thinks U.S. stocks could crash next year. He's the founder of GMO, a firm that manages $118 billion. He's widely respected for warning about the 2000 market crash and the 2008 financial crisis, although most large money managers will tell you always be in the market, which means you'll always pay them fees. Grantham is willing to speak his mind, even if it means telling people to get out of the market. Thanks, guest 6696. That's good. Yes. Well, this decor is from the White House in Jimmy Carter's era. I think Obama is going to be impeached. I believe that the Democrats are going to have to impeach him when they find out what he and Hillary did. It's not cool to actually, lie to the American people and spin false flags after false flags and work for hidden secret organizations. Now, I'm going to play you a little clip of a 60 Minutes thing that'll show you how corrupt our government is. Watch this.
next national election is now less than a year away, and congressmen and senators are expending much of their time and their energy raising the millions of dollars in campaign funds they'll need just to hold on to a job that pays $174,000 a year. Few of them are doing it for the salary, and all of them will say they're doing it to serve the public. But there are other benefits: power, prestige, and the opportunity to become a Washington insider with access to information and connections that no one else has in an environment of privilege where rules that govern the rest of the country don't always apply to them.
All right, Steve Croft did this, and it was purged. This whole video was purged. I'll be playing it later tonight after our show. But this whole video was purged because the government did not want people to know that the Congress can do insider trading. That's a real reality that people don't even understand. That whole video was censored. They were told not to actually put it on their site. You didn't know that these people do insider trading? Okay, well, John Kerry, one of the biggest investors around the world, has investments in various areas that we're currently involved in foreign policy-wise. Even Susan Rice, the former ambassador to the UN, has invested in Iran. Heavily invested in Iran. I'm serious. I hope you all knew that the babies born from 1980 till now, the government is keeping a vial of their blood and DNA in a warehouse in Detroit. Fact. I don't believe that's a fact, but if you had some evidence to validate that, that'd be good to know. Whenever you put the word fact in a Conspiracy Monday show, you actually have to back it up with some sort of a link, even if you spell it out. People are very distrusting right now, especially if they're born after 1980. It's a rumor. You're right, Bill Hicks is 1,000 times more Alex Jones than the Aurora, Colorado shooter, James Holmes. It's happening right now, folks. Billionaires are dumping stocks. Wow. It's going down, man. I hear you. There's some similarities out there. This is a weird one. This is a conspiracy theory that's out there. Wait a second. I've got a loose video playing. Wow. I don't know how that happened. I'm losing in the Canadian election? Wow. I didn't know I was running. Hey, Mad Dog, you made it home. Good. Okay, billionaires are dumping stocks. Stock market crash on the way. When it comes to investing in the stock market, we're told to follow the smart money. Who might that be? The most influential investors, businessmen in America today are Warren Buffett, John Paulson, and George Soros. And Warren Buffett lost, $1 billion last year? Not exactly the guy to follow. The investing acumen has helped them amass billions of dollars, but among millions of people who believed that expansion of credit was there, now people are realizing we don't have any expansion of your credit. No, we're not in any way involved in anything. I've never had a homosexual experience. That's weird. I don't understand why people want to do that, but if you want to have a homosexual experience, I'm not going to tell you otherwise. And no, I'm not your dad. Cops want a user DNA from Ancestry.com. Really? I'm just freaking out. Cops are asking Ancestry.com for user DNA. I'm like blown away. People get their DNA checked at Ancestry.com now. And now the government wants in on that. I'm not gay, no. Let me show you this picture. This is a purported theory that... Now the head's in a different position. Aside from the extra work that was done on his face. The guy farthest from me is the grandson of the Rothschilds. The guy closest to me is, you guessed it, Mark Zuckerberg. The interesting thing about it, when you align their faces and you position them, they actually match closer than the 84% match that James Holmes, the alleged shooter in the Aurora, Colorado shooting that was charged with the crime, matches his previous picture. This is the picture closest to me is actually the picture of James Holmes, the guy who graduated top of his class in neuroscience at UC Riverside. And the guy in the farthest part is the guy that's serving time as a nutcase. 3,300 years he'll be spending the rest of his life. So they want us to believe that this is a match when it's clearly not. But I'd like you to believe that this could very well be Mark Zuckerberg's previous identity before, because this other guy hasn't turned up. He's gone. And the interesting thing about Mark Zuckerberg is he actually had $19 billion with money he didn't even sell anything to get, to buy WhatsApp. Believe me, the eyes are matched in terms of the horizontal and linear alignment. Much like the eyes are almost matched in the case of James Holmes. Clearly, it's not the same person. One eye's higher than the other. You see, folks, you can't move a person's eye. The ocular nerve, if it is damaged, will lead to total blindness. Aside from all the different variations in color, you easily wear contacts, but this eye right here is about, I would say, 1/4 of an inch above the other eye. Yeah. Making this not the same guy. So they basically are prosecuting a different James Holmes. But this guy, this supposed, person, Mark Zuckerberg, who got $19 billion to just throw at WhatsApp, and WhatsApp hasn't done anything. WhatsApp is, well, I'm sure the optical nerve can be repaired, but risking moving an eye up or down is not exactly something people do for augmentation purposes. Would you like to see some facial augmentation that would lead you to believe that maybe somebody could get their face changed and it would look radically different if they did? Well, here's a good example. There's Alex Jones and there's Bill Hicks. Okay? That's about as close of a match as you'll ever find. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, come on, guys. I already said he is. Just accept the fact the guy who's spewing controlled opposition making $9 million a year, and he doesn't make that money from selling Berkey filters. Now, if I were to stand here and say I'm actually Bill Hicks and Alex Jones, would you believe that? Come on, everybody! Get me on the red list! I mean, come on. You can do better than that. Just use your eyes. Your eyes will tell you the truth. Now, we have other people in the media that are clearly opposite to what you think. It's a match, yeah. Here's a couple people that are totally opposite. I talk about this on Conspiracy Monday because it's not something I talk about any other day except maybe Friday. Freedom Friday. But, yeah, I'd like to show you the new and improved Renee Zellweger. Yeah. You look at that and you go, whoa, what's going on with that? How come her eye moved too? You think Garth Brooks has been replaced? The Renee one is really very disturbing. Because if Renee knew something, the last real image of the Renee that we know was 5'3", and this woman's 5'7". Now, you don't move your nose down. People usually don't have their nose moved down and their eye moved down 1/4 of an inch. So whatever happened to the real Renee, whether she was involved with the wrong people doing drugs back in 2006, I don't know. But Renee Zellweger was on Leno, on Jimmy Kimmel Live. I mean, the real woman was a very passionate, emotional woman. This woman is coming off as as kind of like dull and lackluster. Here's her recent appearance as the new woman. And she's posing. Her face is posing. The old version versus the new version. You don't know what's new and what's old, right? You're still struggling with that? Yeah. Okay. Hey, we don't like you white supremacists here, so stay away. We don't support your extremist views, and we believe that extremism is not what the America needs right now. We believe that moderates need to step it up. All right, so clearly they can replace people who don't agree with them. I mean, that's just something that they do. And now I'm looking for the 2006 YouTube video of her on Jimmy Kimmel. Here she was drunk at the Oscars. Let's listen to this. Oh, I'm sorry, the new one. This is the new one, drunk at the Oscars. Let's take a look. I haven't seen this yet. This is interesting. Okay, Richard Gere is standing next to her. He's what, slightly higher, taller than her? Let's just watch this.
And the Oscar goes to... Where are we going to stop here? Go ahead. And the Oscar goes to...
Yeah, clearly her head's kind of moving. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm not really fond of the fact that he gave $19 billion away to WhatsApp. I thought that was an example of what the Rothschilds could do. The only people that are out there that would actually, oh, we've got that illegal alien problem again in our room. Oh, let me take care of that. Unlike Donald Trump, I'm not going to be deporting all the illegal aliens that are living in America, only the ones that come in over the border illegally. I'll make it so that the laws on the books will be enforced against anyone hiring illegal aliens. That will automatically send people home packing. They're going to want to go home. They won't be able to get a job here. That's the way to solve the illegal alien problem without creating a police state like Donald Trump wants to do. Okay, I want to look. This is the part that I want to look at here. Okay. Clearly they're about the same height. Let me look at what the height of Richard Gere is. His height. He's 5'11", folks. Now, Renee Zellweger is 5'3". Okay, you tell me how that person who's 5'11", standing next to a person who's 5'3", can stand almost eye to eye with her. Can you tell me that? Okay, if Queen Latifah is 5'10", that would make her 5'7", like I said. You're saying she's got high heels? All right, whatever. I don't want to, I didn't want to trouble you. You can look it up yourself. I'm just trying to raise questions and, field questions at the same time. Okay, well, there's always the elevator shoes story, and, Richard Gere is wearing elevator shoes. Richard Gere is wearing flats, and she's wearing elevator shoes, and whatever. Nearly 200 earthquakes shake San Ramon, California, everybody. Wow. A speckling of earthquakes along the California coastline. What are they going to use HAARP or something along the California coastline to trigger an earthquake? About a month and a half ago, Shepard Smith, I think that's his name, on Fox News said that everybody west of I-5 is going to be toast because there's a fault line running up and down the entire coastline that's going to just slip off. And this is Fox News scaring the living daylights out of 7 million liberal voters, mind you. Most of the people west of I-5 are liberal, by the way, if you didn't know that. A swarm of earthquakes continue to rock San Ramon in the East Bay. Recent earthquake swarms put San Ramon residents on edge. 200 tremors rippling through 2.8 to 3.5 quakes. These could be preliminaries of something big to come. Were they telegraphing what they're going to do with the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Project, the control of our weather and the control of earthquakes? Is it possible for them to control earthquakes? Yeah, it definitely is. They have the technology to do whatever they need to do to fracture the earth. There's even evidence out there that the Haiti earthquake that killed 350,000 people may have been engineered with a HAARP type of a tool. So what is HAARP, and how do they control the environment? How does this work? Well, one person has actually gone out of their way to talk about the idea of creating a drought using HAARP, creating the entire California drought along the West Coast. That's something that would affect the Earth's surface at the same time.
Okay, this is absolutely amazing. You will not believe this, but this Hurricane Julio, which just passed Hawaii a few days ago, does not exist anymore, even though it's still shown on the satellite maps, at least the visible satellite map for GOES West. It's unbelievable that they have completely destroyed this hurricane, or it was a tropical depression, and yet it's absolutely still on.
Okay, somebody said, why would the liberal government want to destroy their biggest supporters? Look, if they can destroy California, period, and dehydrate California, the liberal majority in Canada, David. Oh, okay, thank you. Good. If they really want to destroy the California coastline, dehydrating California using HAARP is perfectly possible and logical. And yes, lithium is also being sprayed as a chemtrail. We profiled that last week in our chat room. In fact, I've got that article queued up right here. Yeah, what I'm referring to is the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Project, which is one of many arrays that the government has been investigating or using to control weather patterns for some time. HAARP's existence is well documented. They've got this array sitting down there in Alaska, or up there in Alaska. They also got one down there in near Mexico in Baja. They've got one. They've got them all around the world. These arrays, and they can create changes in the weather patterns. Okay, let's go to the Four Winds story here. I'm going to give you guys a link to this. This is pretty amazing. They've been tracking massive chemtrails over the coastline of Oregon. And they're doing what this person believes an experiment on lithium. Lithium is being used. Now that's a good link to click on, folks, if you ever want to find out what they're doing over your skies. This has been documented now. There's all kinds of stuff showing that they're spraying in the air. And I can give you all kinds of information about how they're dropping lithium to basically make people complacent. You know, lithium's used in treatment of manic depression, bipolar disorder. It lowers psychotic ideation, but most of all, it makes people very, very, very depressed, but neutralized. You know, they're like complacent. So I'm going to show you an admission. This is a new piece that I just played a couple nights ago, last week. But it's pretty interesting. It's about what's happening and the government doing the unthinkable. They're actually generating lithium tests in the atmosphere. What I'm going to show you is going to be very disturbing. It's a NASA scientist answering questions about chemtrails. Now, for those of you who don't believe that chemtrails exist and that there's still contrails and that this forms when condensation occurs, blah, 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 no. NASA openly admits to dumping lithium all over the population. Watch this.
Yeah, it's very important we communicate what we're doing to the public. We're very interested in making sure everyone knows what we're doing. We're not
Well, you know, when the article came out in the major newspapers, including the Huffington Post, there was no mention of lithium. Not one. Not one mention of lithium. Until I heard the recording of the actual, I listened to it. I listened to the rockets go off. I had no idea there was going to be a lithium dispersed until I heard payload, lithium, dispersed.
Right. There was lithium dispersed, and I'd be happy to talk to you about it. I think you might be under some misconceptions about what we're doing, but I'm happy to tell you any details that you need.
Well, I know that it says in your article that you're doing it for communications.
Okay, I'm happy to talk to you more about it. There are many reasons we're doing it.
Okay.
We don't understand how the wind in the upper atmosphere moves.
Mm-hmm.
In these chemtrails, there's different kinds of chemtrails, as you probably know. Different trails at night we use and different trails during the day. The wind blows them around. They glow either on their own or from scattered sunlight. We take pictures and we can see how the wind trail moves around and use that to infer what the wind is. Just like if you were taking a picture of an airplane contrail, you can use that to see how the wind was blowing up at those altitudes. This is much higher altitude, so we use these chemical trails.
And what is the purpose of knowing what the wind's going to do in the ionosphere?
The purpose is the ionosphere. It's really to understand our planet. It's very fundamental science. We're trying to understand. Every day we know there's electric currents that flow over the head. They're just naturally there. They've been there for ever since the Earth had an atmosphere and a magnetic field. And the wind is driven by the sun. The sun heats the atmosphere. The wind blows, and every day that wind drives an electric current. And we're trying to understand what causes that. Essentially, how does it work in detail? And also importantly, when the sun becomes active with lots of sunspots and lots of magnetic activity, that changes the wind pattern and changes the electric current. So we want to understand both what it is on a regular day when there's no solar activity, and then what it is when there's a lot of solar activity.
Is there some other kind of a way that you can use it without dispersing the lithium?
We're researching other ways. The lithium is actually harmless to the environment, and we could show you more about that, but it is tricky to use because it's very faint. You can't see it with your naked eye. You have to, have special cameras to see it and so on. So we don't like to use it for that reason. It's hard. In other words, it's hard measurement to make. We're researching other ways to put sensors directly on the rocket to measure the wind, and those are ongoing. We're trying to develop those now. In fact, one of the purposes of this mission was to do that.
Okay. Well, you've explained it to me then. I don't agree with it, but I appreciate you explaining it to me.
Email too if you have detailed questions, anything you want.
Okay, I will. I'm gonna research it a little more, and I will email you. And I appreciate you taking the time out to speak to me today, sir.
At your call. It's not often we get to hear from members of the public and people who are really interested and concerned with what we're doing. I really appreciate your time.
I wish more people would call. I really do. I've called my senators. I've called my governor. You can't get through to anyone, sir. You can't get through to anybody.
Yeah.
I go to my city council. I live in rural North Carolina. They don't care. They laugh you out of there. There's no other recourse for us, sir, unless to talk to people directly and find out what is going on, because we're paying for it.
Well, I don't know how far you are from Wallace Flight Facility. Is that easy?
Yeah, I'm going to stop this real quick. This is a typical educated fool who actually said that lithium is harmless. And I'm going to cue you in right now on what lithium is, okay? All right. This is from the other site talking about the lithium dump going on. The chemtrails are being used over the Reedsport area in Oregon. Lithium is the softest of all metals and is an alkali metal. It's relatively inexpensive to mine, as it's fairly common. Okay. First and foremost, lithium is an FDA pregnancy category D drug, which means even in very small doses, it causes birth defects, most especially of the heart. Lithium also passes through breast milk and will harm the baby. Although the many websites which list the users and warnings of lithium as a drug often divide the symptoms into common side effects and dangerous side effects. Okay, now I'm going to ask some of you, are you suffering from lethargy? Are you suffering from thirst? Excessive thirst. This is also true with fluoride. No, 4 parts per million fluoride is toxic to the human species, and that number is rampantly being put in our tap water right now. There's no natural oral supplement unless you seek holistic solutions, and I'm not going to give you any names of that. You can look yourself. Dude, I'm fully aware of what I'm getting dropped on. Jet fuel is not good either. I'm not in favor of the jets flying over my house doing sorties every day. I'm against that. Actually, I want to see more unmanned aerial vehicle technology developed. Are any of you suffering from a stomach distress, diarrhea, constipation, or a sudden weight gain, or muscle or joint pain? These are all symptoms and side effects of lithium. So to say that it's totally safe is ridiculous. Slurred speech and blurred vision, confusion, hallucinations, kidney pain, renal glands are becoming dysfunctional. Yeah, for a person, hair loss, acne, sunburn. Yeah. Lithium is a drug. It's not something you should just mess around with. I haven't checked that, but it has more information on it. Yeah, they're using lithium in batteries. Like I said, it's cheap to make. They found a huge lithium mine in Afghanistan. So, yeah. But the fact is, this educated fool who actually believes that dumping lithium on a population to study the weather patterns is okay, these are the type of idiots we have working in our government. Okay? Just admit that you've got idiots working in government. We'll handle it. I'll handle it. I'll be firing this idiot, along with many others at NOAA, and are going to take and merge NOAA and NASA and make a very small unit that's going to actually get a return on investment. We're going to actually use NASA to get payloads delivered into space. Right now, NASA is literally charging $500 million to deliver payloads with a Russian satellite system into the International Space Station. We just signed a contract for nearly $500 million with Russia. So, we're still in trading situations with Russia, but the fact is, we could deliver that payload if NASA had their act together, okay? But instead, Barack Obama is giving all of our technology over to people like Richard Branson and Elon Musk or SpaceX. They're getting all kinds of free technology. So let's listen to some more of this guy.
Is that drivable from where you are?
Where is it, sir? I don't know where it is.
It's north of Norfolk, Virginia. It's on the eastern shore of Virginia. If you're at Norfolk, it would probably take you another 2.5 hours to get there. So if you're in North Carolina, I don't know where you are, but maybe.
Right. Yeah, I'm in western rural North Carolina near the Tennessee border.
Have a chance. You might consider either going to Goddard Space Flight Facility, which is outside of D.C. There is Clemson University, which is where all the chemical release work is done.
Oh, really? Well, that's very close to me.
You might contact those guys. I'm sure they'd be happy to explain what they're doing.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I will do that. Just ask for the science department.
Well, I don't know what department they're in, but Larson, Larsen, Miguel Larson is the lead, and he's been doing this for decades and can explain in detail what they're doing and why it's not an issue for people living. We wouldn't, we would be, as a government agency, we would not be allowed, to do anything that would be harmful. So
he said, as a government agent, we would not be allowed if it were harmful. That is so untrue. I can't even tell you. The Logan Act makes it so I really can't, in any way involve myself with foreign politics, like Canadians' politics today. I have a job, yes. My job is to inform you of all the BS you're being fed by the mainstream media. So yeah, I don't get paid for it, but it's one of my many things I do. All right, so look at this possibility that Miguel Larson exists. Clemson University, 2012. I'm going to put in Miguel Larson 2015, see what I can find. Clemson. Yep. So he's still at Clemson. Yeah, okay. So apparently you can contact him if you want to know if chemtrails are going on. This is conspiracy theory. We're going to try to vet this. You can probably find him at Atmospheric and Space Scientists at Clemson. So if you guys want to write him an email, I'll give you the link. Contact Miguel Larson. All right? Thank you. And ask him how many chemtrails is he spraying above the sky. That would get the ball rolling on your investigation. So weather control is part of their plan to create a drought in California. It's also something that they could easily engineer as a weapon against any country that was not agreeing with them, for instance. It's a simple YouTube link. Okay. I don't think it's appropriate to put YouTube links in the show that involve mind manipulation or some sort of brainwashing. If I wanted to do that, I would play some sort of a brainwashing video. You'd be looking at things like this. If you wanted to mesmerize people, I don't really think we need to do that. This is the pollution that they're spraying in the skies. It's all over the place. Well, we could if he was available right now, but he's not. Let me look up Miguel Larson over there. Let me see if I get you as a direct line. Dave, some of us are local to you and know what the truth is. Well, great. I'm glad. Good for you. Is that a threat? And what truth are you talking about? Because you're making up lies about me. There he is. Well, that's weird. It routes to the same page. Here he is. Okay, let me get his contact point. He's been doing research. Yep. Oh, well, isn't that amazing? Well, he doesn't exist. How about that? Huh. So a guy on a website for Clemson.edu who's been doing chemtrails since 2012 and beyond. I would be great if I could get him on the line, but he doesn't exist. Yeah. You see, this is what called searching something down. This is called going down the rabbit hole. Once you find these types of things, happen all the time. There he is, right there. Miguel Larson. You see him? Okay, I go to the link, right, Sarah? See it? Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, page not found. Clemson.edu has no page for him. So let me see if Gerald is there. Oh, yeah, Gerald's there. What about John Merriweather? Is he there? Oh, yeah, John Merriweather's there. What about Jens Oberheid, satellite data analysis? Oh, yeah, he's there, but Miguel is amazingly not there.
And why were you looking for Miguel?
Miguel's in charge of chemtrails. He's been working out of Clemson for the past 2 years. We just listened to a NASA scientist talk about all the lithium they dump on top of our heads. And well, don't you think Clemson.edu should keep their site up to speed, Ms. Hatsuni? Yeah. Miguel is not there. So where is he?
I don't know. We could go find him.
Well, now
take these things off my face.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot this was the show.
Or maybe you don't want to. Maybe
no, you're beautiful.
I mean, that's fine with me too.
I think you're beautiful, and everyone should be just want to see you. Okay. Well, I don't need to report as the webmaster. I need you to wake up. Justin Trudeau is now the new Prime Minister, everybody. I think it's amazing. I want to congratulate Justin and
Miguel Larson, right?
Yes, Miguel. Well, you don't have to worry about that. I'll do it later. But yeah, I'm very glad in some ways that Canada is moving now a little bit more to the left after Stephen Harper continually denied people rights and issues that were seriously important to the Canadian people. But I'm not here to comment on Canada's policies. Chemtrails in the sky with diamonds. That would be kind of cool. Chemtrails in the sky. I'm going to be president. That's what I'm running for president. What do you mean, who do you want to be president? That's a ridiculous question. You clearly see my name on the screen.
He worked there in 2020.
Are they unable to see the screen? Oh, that's right. Vaughn runs the ads over our ad. Look at that. Oh, that's right. Vaughn runs a complete cover over our entire show. I didn't realize they can't even tell that I'm running for president because Vaughn's locking it up with an advertisement. That kind of sucks. All right, so we are going to be dealing with Truth tomorrow, Truth Tuesday. That's going to be a big event. Tonight we're just fielding questions about, anything from things that go bump in the night to... You can talk about aliens tonight. Would you like to talk about aliens? Anybody? Nobody wants to talk about aliens?
Aliens? Not really.
No. Okay, let me move this over here. There we go. Now at least they'll see it. Okay, I don't believe in aliens. I have signed off on the full disclosure project, though. If we have to, talk about the existence of aliens as president, I will give you the truth, but I have to actually meet an alien in person, up close and personal. It's going to be like a White House meeting. Well, I'll have the alien brought into the White House. That's what I would hope. It has to be at the White House. I'm not going to leave the White House much to go on vacation, but you're okay with an alien coming into the White House? If there is indeed an alien?
People from other countries should probably be
No.
reported.
Not that type of an alien. I'm talking about...
Extraterrestrial?
Yeah.
Why would I want an extraterrestrial in the White House?
Well, just temporarily so I can validate it really is an alien. I can't just believe it.
Only if
randomly.
they're in a secure location out.
Yeah, it won't be...
Like, that... Never mind.
I won't be in danger, okay? So, like, this thing right over here will be sitting in the back in the Oval Office. And we'll just have him take a chair. I'm cracking you up tonight? Really?
David's cracking me up, too.
No kidding. How's that possible? We'll have this little alien sitting in the corner here.
Climate alarmist has been caught in the largest scientific scandal in history, according to truthandaction.org.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, so he can sit by the fireplace. I'll talk to him on the chair. I look like Howdy Doody tonight. Wow. Oh, gosh. You're still obsessed with my hair?
I love your hair.
I can't seem to have hair that anybody likes anymore.
I like your hair. Why?
Well, we'll have Howdy Doody in the show, too. I mean, full disclosure, I'll just reveal the whole truth about everything. Howdy Doody, the whole thing.
A whole orange?
The White House will start to turn out to be like a cartoon, People will tune in to say, what's on the cartoon today? Our daily chat show in the White House. People will come in and watch, and I'll say, yeah, today we're having an alien in the White House, everybody. There's no comb over, man. This is my hair. What the hell's wrong with you?
What's up?
You know a joke when you see one? Yeah. Well, your whole life has been that way, hasn't it? You'd be great as a Victoria Winters remake TV series. That's all DT Laura's saying. Victoria Winters, you look just like her.
Oh, right.
Okay, so Miguel Larson, who we were told by the NASA official just a few minutes ago, said, hey, well, of course I have Donald Trump's hair. You think this hair comes cheap? I'm actually ordering a wig to do the complete Donald Trump look for our Halloween show. Victoria Winters. The look of Victoria Winters. Let's see if Sarah is like Victoria Winters.
A little bit.
A little bit. I don't see it as strong. Well, there I do. Yeah, this is the one picture.
I don't smile.
Well, just right where you are. Let's put this up there. Yeah. I can see the definite resemblance here. It's the square jaw and the beautiful high cheekbones. All the classic features of a model. I'll get her head a little bit bigger there. Hang on. Yeah, very much so. A little different though in size. All right, we have a match. So you could be Victoria Winters if the people believe that Renee Zellweger has changed. Maybe you could be the new Victoria Winters. Don't you think she'd be just as good? She's much prettier, really. Thank you. Sarah's much prettier.
Dark Shadows, huh? I have to go look at that movie.
So if you'll have to tell somebody, if their entire goal is to replace somebody like Victoria Winters, maybe Sarah could be that person. In a stand-in role or something. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't play video games anymore.
What was she in, some kind of vampire movie or something?
I guess she was in some sort of a movie. Is she a Victoria's Secret model? I don't know. Let's ask the alien in the White House.
I'm sure there are Victoria's Secret models named Victoria Winters, but...
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? Can we move on to the next question? Thank you. Oh. I don't know. I'm of the belief that a lot of the things that we see on the internet, I found a story online that said that the University of San Francisco did a study on fluoride that proved, in their mind, that it was definitely helpful for cavities when it's applied directly to your teeth. So I went looking down the rabbit hole, and I called up University of San Francisco. I couldn't find the person who claimed that they did the study. They never existed.
Dark Shadows, okay, I'll have to check it out.
So there's a lot of stories that are out there. So Dave, Miguel does not exist on that website. That's my point.
That's David's point.
They'll tell you to go contact this person, but the person is not there.
It doesn't exist. Miguel is gone.
Miguel has been removed. He may have known too much.
There's a lot of different things about it.
There's a lot of stuff about Miguel, but he knows too much.
By tracking the cloud's movements...
I didn't pass out flyers in Albert Lee. Somebody else did. It wasn't me. But you came in here because you saw a flyer? Well, that's one of our supporters. They're trying to promote us.
Albert Lee.
Sarah is...
Where is Albert Lee?
You and I could give birth to a professional athlete.
I'm sure we could.
It's true. I'm incredibly athletic. I was thinking about this earlier. I was thinking, wow, my ability to shoot, my ability to
weird.
aim.
Here's another one that didn't exist.
Here's another one. Miguel, it doesn't exist. No, I was not a corporate raider in the 80s. I worked outside the corporate community. I never worked in the corporate community. I was asked to take video camera footage of a Lexus Toyota meeting, a high-pressure advertising meeting when I had my videography business in Los Angeles. And I went in there with my video camera and I photographed big, huge executives from Lexus and Toyota that were from Japan. And then I saw all the American men who were like vice presidents, like so bowing and serving them, and it was so weird. It was so, yes, Sensei, President, yes, oh yes. It was so weird to see American corporate men kind of kowtowing to the Japanese executives. It was weird.
For several years, Professor Miguel Larson has guided Clemson students in NASA-funded research at the University of Alaska Geophysical Institute's Poker Flat Research Range.
In atmospheric
Alaska
research,
Center for Arctic Space and Atmospheric Research. Okay. There's a reference to him, but...
No way we're going to find Miguel Larson, I assure you. He's gone.
Well,
you'd be hard pressed to find him. You'd have to look all over the entire internet.
Gonna do that
to get any kind of a shred of information.
Do it. Guts.
We don't even have a picture of this guy, and he's probably some guy over at Clemson who's hiding in a laboratory in Alaska or something. Hey there. I'm going to take a little break, guys. You can hang out with Sarah and talk about anything. Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay. Chemtrails released by NASA wallops rocket launch. Credits Miguel. You visited this page already. Okay. NASA admits to producing chemtrails. atmospheric and space physics, NASA jet stream will light up the night sky. Okay, how are you all? Did you have a fantastic Monday? Was it just another manic Monday? I always make Mondays a really great day. It's very good. Ooh, I have this particular chef. I like her food. She makes everything really well. I like her beer battered cod. That's very good. Or even she makes a beer battered salmon, which is really good. She also makes sog chicken with coconut milk, a little peanut butter in there too. I like that. With let me think. It's with spinach and chicken and even garbanzo beans. It's very good. Nice. Sarah face. You're waiting to watch a concert at 12. Okay. What's that concert you're going to be watching? 1980. That sounds fun. Exquisite solar powered wooden house in Spain boasts a tiny ecological footprint. I love that site, that Inhabitat. I love that site. It's so cool. It's a very cool site, I have to say. It's just like all these cute little homes and things like that. I don't have a drone to register, but almost funny. That was almost funny. No way. I like Depeche Mode. I do. I really do like Depeche Mode. I've liked them since I was a little kid. So that's fun. Do you have a Facebook? Yes, I do. It's facebook.com/thirdparty. So join me, friend me, all that good stuff. I'm not the best at always communicating on Facebook, but I do have one. You'd have to find one first, Drag King. Maybe Mad Dog does have one. I mean, it's been a long time since I revealed it. But, I'm sure it's out there somewhere. ATP, what? What are you talking about, Scro? What you talking about, Scro? What's up? Why are you saying that? Would you like to watch an alien working at NASA? If they're working on how to propel us out of these and our atmosphere, that might be fun. I think you might be a little clueless on how to spell the word clueless. Alright, I do like fish sticks, especially if it's more like tempura. I'm not a big fan of the cornmeal fish sticks, but that's it. Yes, you just had a national election. You must be up in Canada. Is that correct? Oh, am I now? Oh, I'm very happy in my position. You don't think the New World Order is gonna happen in your lifetime, D2 or Laura? Sounds good. Oh, okay. Yes, I have heard Canada has a new Prime Minister. Oh, yes, you're in Canada. Good. Yep. I heard it was Trudeau won. Good. I guess. How do you feel about that? Tell David it's okay. Alright. Alright, well, I'll add it to my list of things. There we go. Or I'll have David do that. Dark Shadows TV series. Thank you very much, Mad Dog. It's spooky. Alright, I'm not a big spooky fan. No. 3526. No. Alright. Did I check it out? I don't know what you're talking about, Frankie. Yes. 2225. David does approve of legalization of weed. Rose Gothic vampire soap opera from the 60s. That's interesting. Not quite, JW. Not quite, but... We don't hate Canada, Scro. It's all good. I mean, just because I'm not... Here, I'll look up Trudeau for you. And figure out what he's all about. Justin Trudeau is set to become the Canadian Prime Minister as Liberals sweep the board in the election. The son of Canada's most charismatic politician. Oh, yes. Still too lazy, exactly. Fantastic. Oh, I should look at the camera. It's hard to look at the camera. It is a little bit because you have all this distraction like going on down below on the screen. So you have to like ignore it and just like look in the camera. It's kind of like a different feeling, but that's okay. I can do that because I'm always distracted. I want to read what things are being typed and read about the news and all of that, but there you go. Oh, goodness. Oh, I don't have any bright red lipstick. What's lies, Scro? Tell me the truth, Scro. Speak it. Speak the truth. 5886. People have accused me of that. I guess the conversation, yes. I want you to speak your truth, Scro. That way we can all hear what the truth is that you believe that we should hear. So everyone has a voice, everyone has input, and you have something important to say, obviously. Which is why you're trying to distract everyone. So speak your truth. Speak it loud. I want to hear you be brave. Go ahead. I'm waiting. No, I don't have children of my own. I do have an impact on the next generation, though. Not quite dragging. I wish, but no. Oh well. Okay, well, we have a majority liberal governments. Yes. How do you feel about that? It sounds like you do not like that at all. Oh, yes, I do understand that the Liberal Party of Canada... Oh! Thank you, 4395. I get it. So you're saying, like 4395 said, liberal in Canada does not mean the same thing as liberal in the US. I get it now. So Liberal Party in Canada is more like free markets. It's more like, yeah, I think I'm going to just like purge you for now. It's more, I don't think it's more like libertarian. Libertarian's more like live and let live, right? But liberal in Canada is more like, oh, the liberal market will solve everything. And so it's more like our Republican Party here in the U.S., which is all about big business, and big business will solve everything. Wait, Liberal Party in Canada are far left, so are they more in favor of social program? Here's the question. Is it more in favor of social programs? Are they in favor of like the healthcare system you guys have in Canada, or are they against it? Well, why doesn't he just ask that then, JW? Are you trying to ask me to vote you, I guess? Oh, it's somewhat Republican and somewhat Democratic. Not even close. Then enlighten me. Okay, Stephen Harper's Conservatives and New Democratic Party has been routed as Liberals surge to take parliamentary majority. Justin Trudeau, the son of one of Canada's most charismatic politicians, will be Canada's next leader after a dramatic federal election in which the Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, lost his parliamentary majority and 9 years of often unpopular rule by the centre-right Conservatives ended. Polls had only just closed in Ontario and Quebec when the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation called the election for Trudeau, based on a near wholesale collapse of the support for the left-wing New Democratic Party, as well as the powerful Liberal surge.
All right. Well, this has been fun. We have a visitor from Japan. Hello.
Japan. Oh.
Are you doing translations?
No.
Oh, hello, everybody.
Translations. David can do the translations.
Hello from America. Good evening. Well, thank you for coming in and hanging out with everybody, Sarah. It's been kind of nice having you. You can hang out if you want. I'm going to do translate. I have a lot of people who've seen my videos over in Japan, and they like what they see a lot of times. Let's see. First brother to play more quickly, take advantage of the audience, singing in no multi-scribe subscribe. I don't know what you're saying.
I don't think they know what they're saying.
What about this other one? They're telling you how to play multiplayer. It's an instructional Japanese.
I think they're saying open mini chat so we can.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
You have these waste live master it. You have these waste live master it. Okay, we'll try. We are broadcasting over at the other. Hey, be nice.
Hey, Real PR.
Hey, Real PR. Welcome over there. Yeah, I can't imagine anyone calling me a nut job. I mean, there are people, in mental wards that babble. Everything I say makes sense. And we talk about the real problems in the country that are not being addressed, like Fukushima. It's affecting all of us around the world now. And we aren't seeing any action from our government. And we see very little from the Japanese government. And we, even the Japanese people, of course, they want accountability. We want accountability. We want our government to be good and honest. And if we're all being poisoned by Fukushima radiation in the Pacific Ocean, we all have something to gain by fixing this problem. Wow.
878.
Thank
Have
you.
our bell call David. I don't know.
Well, thank you for admiring my body, but I didn't know you knew.
Of course, we all know.
Fukushima will kill a lot of Americans before they will ever admit it. Mad Dog. I'll make that a quote from you, Mad Dog. In the world of never before or never again heard quotes. Because if we're all dead, I mean, what good is a quote, right? The whole world would be kind of futile if we were all gone. Everything would be, including a college degree, including a good job, including money in the bank, food in the cupboard. I mean, all that becomes irrelevant when we're all dead from radiation. I mean, hello? Anybody in there? I feel like this is a Pink Floyd show.
Hello? Is there anybody in there?
Okay, we'll see. I'll cut and paste what you said. Oh, no.
Why don't you just open one over here?
Yeah, I have to, unfortunately.
Let's do it randomly. Random spot.
Okay.
Here you go.
Third Party has Scro is posting simply incorrect on it. Scro does that late at night. He likes to hang out the show.
Well, too bad he won't be able to anymore.
Oh, you banned him? You banned Scro?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, poor Scro won't make it anymore in the show. He'll have to come back as somebody else. Art Bell is libertarian, and Dave has the conspiracy theories to discuss. Art Bell would love him. Oh, God. You know, Art would love to get me on the show, but unfortunately, Art's been told probably by his handlers that they can't possibly approach me. I'm too hot. I'm an honest person.
Contact his producer.
Such fishing would get pocket money spent with her mother.
You should contact Art Bell's producer.
I don't really want to be painted as a conspiracy nut. You know, frankly, I don't believe a lot of conspiracies. So I don't know how you could just run around calling me a conspiracy nut just because I do agree there's a group of corrupt people running the inside of every agency in our government. Aside from that, you know, I want to change government. I want you guys to vote better people in. I want better people. In fact, local state officials should be free. I believe that people could actually donate their time. If you're a retiree, it'd be great to work as a House representative or a state senator. Don't you think that would be a free job, so we take out the money out of politics? If we did that, we would see a major change in the way our country runs, I believe. If a lot of you honest people who have a little extra time on your hands were to be a state senator under America's Third Party banner, for instance, that would be better, don't you think? Think about it. Think about running as America's Third Party representative. You too can participate in this amazing new movement.
Well, I
got to tell you, Art Bell has a lot of people.
David's mom would have liked him to go on Art Bell.
Mom would have loved to listen to Art Bell, but what is Art Bell going to talk to me about? You know?
Whatever.
You know?
All the things that you talk about.
I'd like to talk about censorship, Art. I'd like to talk about this being 7 years into our entire show and what we've been doing. We finally get an interview with you. You want to contact him for me? Go ahead. Set it up. And they don't have to pay me to do the interview. That's the nice thing. It's kind of a starter just to get things going. Well, if he has a huge audience, I want to get through to them because we are being lied to. Even Stephen Greer and the C-SETI movement, you saw that alien.
Yes, I did.
Okay, check this out.
That's pretty cool that they're just little tiny aliens,
yeah,
only that big.
Yeah. There's an alien fossil out there, folks.
And only that big. It's like 6 inches long.
Mm-hmm.
Or less.
And Stephen Greer found this thing, but nobody in the government wants to take him seriously. And he's wondering why he hasn't had any airtime, just like I'm wondering why I haven't had any airtime. And I talked to Art Bell about Stephen Greer and the C-SETI project.
Of course, if you get Art Bell to contact David, he'll go on the show.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about how there's a suppression of information in the media. It's cost a tremendous amount. Look at this little creature. Now, this guy found a fossil. It's about 6 inches long, and it has all the bones of a little creature. I know. So why don't we get Art Bell to pry this whole thing open and get Stephen Greer on the phone? We'll get a group line, and we'll talk about how we're going to build a political alliance to get the full disclosure project off the ground for the American people to finally know about the existence of aliens. I think it'd be great. But I don't believe in aliens until I actually have, physical contact with him. That, just because he found a little, I've seen small, micro, there are people that actually paint with a micrometer, believe it or not. There are people that can design a skeleton to look like that. They're that good. They paint with such delicate instruments that they could probably, it's totally fake. You know that for sure? All right, well, that's what I want to talk to Doc. I don't want to talk to George Norrie. No, I don't think that's appropriate. No, George has got this heavy voice.
The two they want you to contact are Art Bell and John Wells.
John Wells, really? Yeah, we could talk about anything. You see, that's the thing about the Conspiracy Monday show. We talk about anything. You know, there's nothing we haven't talked about tonight. We talked about a little bit about the Umpqua Community College alleged shooting. Now, Sarah believes it's a real deal, and it really is tragic. I have to take the other position, that it seems like it's made up because there's only 4 photographs that they've been circulating.
P. Master has a big fear of all the asbestos cases that will happen within the next 5 to 10 years due to the Twin Towers airborne debris.
Really?
DEBRIS.
Well, I guess I'll have to, confront Art Bell with a heavy voice, too. I bet some of the heaviest voices in Hollywood. I met Gary Owens, the voice of Hollywood. He actually walked up to me and said, "Hi, I'm Gary Owens." I said, "Hi, Gary. How are you?" Well, what kind of a person is that? Yeah, well, if you're fireproofing with asbestos, that could be very dangerous, dude. Now, you can buy things that are already pre-made with asbestos in it, but you got to be careful. Yeah. They learned the same thing about asbestos. They learned about diatomaceous earth. They found that the same thing is dangerous. They thought for years diatomaceous earth was used for pools and filters and whatnot.
Even
soil additives.
Still, they use it in gardens.
They still use it in gardens, and people don't realize that is way more dangerous than people realize. Mesotheliomas or mesothelioma. That's it. Mesothelioma. It's hard to say that word. Mesothelioma. But yeah, that's an asbestos-related lung disease. It could happen all over the 9/11 area. Tomorrow is going to be Truth Tuesday. We're going to talk about 9/11. I opened with a couple really intense videos for people who are saying, "Oh, there's nothing to talk about there." And tomorrow I'll talk about all those videos. And we've got some really good evidence now that there's been complete cover-ups, at the very least, on the issue. All right, great. Thank you for doing that for us.
I did not see that live on.
Well, the controversy really is, the whole story here is that I've been trying to get the issues discussed that are not being discussed. And that includes GMOs, fluoride in the water system, the dangers of RF frequencies, the problem we have with the radiation coming from Fukushima that's not being addressed. I mean, the list goes on and on. We could go on and on all these issues. But
did you just add the word "it," Mad Dog, at the end of that sentence? Because "of" by itself, it just seems like just hanging there.
Well, I don't really think that saying that life started billions of years ago or 5,000 years ago is really that relevant to when life started. I mean, we could say it eons ago. It doesn't even matter. I mean, should we get into an argument about carbon dating and its efficacy? I mean, what difference at this point does it make?
Oh, thanks, 878.
Oh yeah, as soon as you got to mention the Obama video, yeah, definitely. And I would say that if you don't mention that, you'd be doing them a disservice, because no one wants to. It's a hot potato. No one wants to talk about. I would love to talk about it because I love talking about freedom of speech and how our government's moving more toward a collectivism, and our people are not. The people want individual freedoms back. The people don't want a police state forming. The people don't want the NSA watching over their emails and their nightly phone calls when they're sexting with their girlfriend.
Here, should I copy down Mad Dog's quote for you? I'm copying it down now.
A lot of Americans, well, this goes in our archives, which will be sent into space, and hopefully it'll arrive at Uranus by the time it's received. I'm going to send a digital message into space of all of our log notes eventually. It's part of a time capsule. Isn't that wonderful? And we'll include all our delicious link libraries too. Okay. Well, that's exciting. Well, I can't tell you any more than just thank you for being in the show, and you're such a wonderful person.
You're a wonderful person.
So nice having you.
Sorry, I disagree with you.
Oh, I don't care. Most people do disagree. That's why we have it.
Especially when it comes to shootings at schools.
Absolutely. But you do agree we should do something,
that's the
right?
problem I have, because I kind of think schools are very vulnerable.
Well, that's what I agree with.
That kind of activity. So I think that we need more
fencing?
security.
Security? Would you go for more fencing or security?
Yes.
I feel like I'm in a movie or something, from the 60s or so. This could be like the Love Story theme. The theme from Love Story. I love music. Great track. It's soothing. It is. And it calms me down. And this is more of a floating feeling, right? You're getting all soggy and wet? Well, that's not good. You get out from the rain.
I agree with that statement.
Sorry, I was a little loud there. Yeah, much make-out music. Great little theme song there. Thanks for that. Very nice little, it's called Blade. I love you too. Well, look at who you calling liberal here. I was a liberal for years. I'm still kind of liberal in some ways. I'm not afraid to admit I was a Democrat. I'm afraid to admit I even was involved with the Democratic Party remotely when it comes to making decisions about the economy, though. They've been wrong every time. I mean, this tax and spend mentality is stalling our economy and putting us all in dire need of some low-cost health care, low-cost education. We're seeing high costs spool out. Even Bernie Sanders is not talking about the rising cost of everything. Isn't that interesting? When the costs should be regulated in public and private public hospitals, but not private hospitals. Public doctors and nonprofit hospitals should have set fees for an x-ray or a meeting with your doctor or your healthcare professional, not some ridiculous $200-300 a 5-minute appointment kind of thing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? What is this language? Hieroglyph? I don't think we could translate that. Field caught nothing scary. It's Korean. Okay. Field caught nothing scary as a thief. All right. I'm not sure if that translated correctly. You may want to go back to your original scripting. I know Jeb's dropping low, but but it doesn't really matter. His dad and his connections will also, play into this whole factor. The dirt about Donald Trump is going to be coming out this whole time. The thing about Jeb Bush, he didn't go to Trump's orgy island, and he wasn't on Jeffrey Epstein's list of people that Jeffrey Epstein knew in his black book. So Jeb is clean on that, and I think Jeb probably is going to use that eventually against Trump. I know I would if I were running against him. I'm amazed he hasn't already. But that alone really adds to the credibility of Trump's character when he goes to a guy who is involved in pedophilia.
David's rubbing my back, that's why.
Okay, so Justin Trudeau is set to become the next prime minister. That's him?
Yeah.
Okay. He seems like a family guy, At least he likes children.
Those are his children.
I know. Every time you say anything about a guy and kids, the whole world is so xenophobic. It's like, oh, but yeah, this is his kids. Oh, I can't show that on the screen. Sorry.
It was professionally created.
I don't know.
No, I know.
We may get some flack from the Vaughn Network.
Sorry, we took it off immediately. All right.
Well, thank you. Jeb has some questionable look issues. I don't know. I don't think you should vote for a person based on their looks only. You got to have brand new ideas.
Obviously, that's what happened with Holland. I mean, Trudeau.
Trudeau, yeah. He looks good. I'm tall. Yeah, I'm just as tall as Jeb Bush, if not taller. I'm 6'4". My dad was 6'3". But I'm the height of Abraham Lincoln. Yes. All right. Richard Gere's 5'11". Oh, we had a picture of Richard Gere up against this new Renee Zellweger, and he was literally just 1 or 2 inches higher than her. I mean, she's like 5'9". She's not even 5'7". I'm really believing now at this point that Renee has been replaced, folks.
Well, not now. I mean, he's been believing it for a while now.
Well, I'm starting to really lock in on that belief,
I've been believing for a while now.
But now I'm starting to lock in on the belief. I don't think that works.
I'm trying.
I heard this guy, I'm not going to name names, but NPR had this musician on their show today, and I was listening to him make up a song out of everything he does. So he literally tries to find rhyme in everything he does. So if you guys are aspiring songwriters, you may just start, really finding yourself in a groove, and you want to start singing a song and start airing those words. I'm not into that. I understand Jim Morrison used to walk around writing poetry. Come on, baby, light my fire. I mean, try to set the night on fire. You know that I would be a lie if I was to say to you, girl, we couldn't get much higher. Come on, baby, light my fire.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. This has been great. Thank you.
Auf Wiedersehen.
I'll finish up the show here. Oh, I won't sing, sorry. All right, so
I'm not saying goodnight just because...
No. It's fine. We talked about Bill Hicks, the comedian, becoming Alex Jones. We covered that little tough situation. We're dealing with the ever-present Bush administration, the lingering existence of Jeb still in the race, even though he doesn't seem to have the support he needs. And this obsession people have with the Donald Trump guy who stole my ideas, who literally came into my room 3 years ago in Ustream and came in as Donald Trump. And all we have to do is pull up the Ustream records. I think we'll nail it down. It'll be coming off a server out of New York, New York. Yeah, coming in claiming that, the 1,000-mile fence is his idea. It's mine. I had it in 2008. I'll be at the Holiday Star Lounge this Friday. Shecky Green is going to be filling in for me in the pre-show. All right, so this has been fun. Come on, baby, light my fire. Try to set the night on fire. Hey, speaking of demonic possessions, here's a picture of Hillary that many people don't realize is, kind of non-redacted. It's not the new one, the robot one. This is the original Hillary before she, made the decision to have herself replicated. And there's another, there's a coming potential attack of the giant tax pumpkin, which is going to look just like Barack Obama. Just like Hillary Clinton, sorry. Hitler. The tax and spend liberals, all they do is keep setting the price margin higher, so the taxpayers have to keep forking over the bucks just to pay for every program they've got. So they came up with cap and trade, and they keep pumping it like it's some sort of a solution, when in fact it won't solve any of the problem that we're facing. In fact, recently the cap and trade legislation that Jerry Brown passed, or whatever it was, restraints on emissions, actually has been made up in the forest fire that hit the state of California last year. One forest fire took out whatever green energy tax credits benefited California in one fell swoop. So this plan doesn't aggressively go after cleaning the environment. She doesn't have any new ideas, and the Democrats don't have any new ideas, so we came up with new ideas. And those new ideas are so powerful that they actually can solve the problem with the drought in California. That's what I'm hoping for. And ever since 2005, Sarah and I have been working on this plan. And it's amazing. 10 years into this, and we're still, kind of at square one, but at least we keep talking about it. The idea of a seawater pipeline or ocean pipeline is something that I promote at our website. And I can also check it out at oceanpipeline.com. But simply put, it is a desalination system that stretches up and down the coastline. It can be on the beach for all I care. But stacking these modules next to each other and piping in tremendous amount of seawater We'll be able to have a long linear pathway to desalinate water without any energy drawn from fossil fuels whatsoever. Okay? It's a very simple plan, and over the long run, it will pay for itself multiple times. And it has virality because it's a simple plan. It's just passive desalination. Water will evaporate. So if you put seawater in the middle of something, it will automatically start evaporating. The fresh water molecules go up into the top of the dome, and they heat the area in the upper section of the dome. And thank you. Let me show you a picture that would exemplify this. Here's a long stretch of one of the units I want to create. That's just one sample. And it comes with a reservoir. Solar energy and wind power is used to pump the water into the chambers. Oh, really? Paul Ryan says he's open to the House speakership, but he says it's not evil enough for him? That's so strange. Are you serious? Did Paul Ryan really say that? Okay, well, whatever. Either way. Arigato. Yes, it's true. Mad Dog, thank you so much. So this is a plan that could be implemented down the California coastline. And I could gladly give you our ocean pipeline link too. It talks about how we want to deploy this. Yeah, the whole global warming's cover-up is just designed to push their cap and trade ridiculous legislation. And that's why I'm not a Democrat. Their carbon point legislation plan is integrated with the entire overseeing authority of the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. You know, all of the origins of a lot of the cap and trade legislation has a stamp of international monetary gain on it. Even the Copenhagen Treaty with the signing the agreement with the UN, it's just, we don't want the UN in our country. You know, that's really a bigger issue. And, you know, if Donald Trump is coming out with that, that's what I've been saying too for the past 8 years. We don't want the UN dictating policy in our nation. There's no need for it. But a plan like this, if deployed, could be a long-term solution not only here, but also across the nation into the eastern areas like Las Vegas, Flagstaff, Phoenix, Tulsa, heading on into the Midwestern. You know, we could literally move salt water, and plastic is very safe. We can make this stuff permanent. It literally dissolves. It takes 50 years to even begin to break down. So HDPE plastic, polycarbonate construction, and I would even bring Dow Chemical in on this, believe it or not. We'd be looking at some opportunities for the U.S. government, you know, partnering with Dow Chemical again. I'm serious. I don't have a deep-seated anger at the pesticide manufacturer and the chemical fertilizer manufacturers that is going to destroy our relationship long term. I want to clean this whole thing up. I don't want to hate on people. I want to make it better. I want them to have natural fertilizers integrated with chicken waste. Tyson Foods, maybe Dow could work with them to create a natural fertilizer, chemical fertilizer, something like that. You know, we can work around the problems that we're facing with the destruction of the environment. My big hope is that we can actually generate income at the same time, and it will power up a huge amount of opportunity for America. Okay, you're getting a little too nasty there, Ms. Hatsune. You may want to calm down. I think you're climaxing. Ms. Hatsune has this obsession with bananas. U.S. Republicans are left of the Democrats. I don't know. They're both the same party, really. It's two birds of the same, or two wings of the same bird. Yeah, she's reaching climax very soon. Okay, take a look here. Tethered to land, this is a water power barge that we could build in America or build them anywhere in the world. I don't care. These aren't ideas that I necessarily want to own. Bottom line is we need to build jobs in America, so I'm going to route an opportunity for many shipbuilders to start thinking of barges that can do desalination and create electricity at the same time. These are new technologies that I feature in our book, Hybrid Capitalism. And that's something that you could actually order if you go to America's Third Party. Yeah. All right, there you go. So if anybody wants to ask any questions, I will come in as Alex Jones / Bill Hicks during the after show. A funny noise, really. Is that something you found a common link in all of the videos you're watching? We got so many people watching from Japan right now. We must be spreading like a virus over there. Thank you for coming in. You are holding free speech up in Japan by simply talking about me in your public media. Thank you so much. You know, in America, I have been censored for 7 years now. It's just the way things are. That's what they had to do. They didn't know what to do with an honest guy running for president except censor him. It's kind of sad, isn't it? To see a country that claims to be free and democratic censor its people. The same people every day you see on television. 35 people, the same people. Over and over again. Yes, maybe priority order for novice career choice. Yes. Third party might offer a better solution by not having experience in government. I'm trying to phrase my sentence so that they understand me in Japan. Because obviously our languages are different. Very different. Okay, you have to be our friend now? No, you don't have to be anybody's friend. Okay, we're communicating on a nightly basis now with Japan. I didn't realize that. The theme from Love Story. Okay. So I care about the beautiful planet that we live on. I really do. But I don't think we need a global world government. I don't believe that we need to be handled by UN authorities in this country just to do the right thing. At the very least, we need to just lead by example and help other nations to get cleaner, better technologies to make their world better, for people to live, finally, clean. I mean, this could be an epiphany to realize that a third party will help make that happen. So yes, I am David Sponheim, running for president, and this is America's Third Party. That music is so mellow, I feel like going to bed. Okay. And I am falling asleep. I normally don't do that on our show. Okay. Oh, I like that. Dave. Actually, no. People have a misnomer. They believe that genius is across the board, that I could be like Ken Jennings and be an expert on trivia. No, genius is actually occurs in many different areas. My genius is in my ability to engage in spatial reasoning. That's perhaps where I excel the most. And, you know, I'm not touting to have the ability to speak multiple languages. It's not something the languages I do speak are English. I can listen to conversations and understand quite a bit, but I don't spend a lot of time conversing in other languages. Except maybe, of course, alien set tones. Well, you can say there's a carryover. I am kind of a jack of all trades. I can do anything really well. It's true. I'm not trying to brag, but yeah, listen, guys, I urge you guys to start sprouting. Get some seed packs, everybody. I learned this last night on Doomsday Preppers. Thank you. You like The Office? It's all messed up. We need to vacuum this whole section over here. And I believe there's some crack or something on the ground. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, we do need to do something with with preparing. So I'm urging everybody to get a sample set of like alfalfa seeds, radish seeds, broccoli seeds. Even if all you do is get some broccoli seeds and put them in your car with a little mayonnaise jar. Campaign's going great, Rupert. Hi, long time. It's been a while. Did you finally get ousted from your university? Spanky seeds are good. Any kind of seeds are good. And then get a little glass and a little bit of screening material. Even garden variety screening material. The best stuff, of course, is cheesecloth. And put that on top with a rubber band. And put little seeds in there and put it in a window. If it's in your car, it'll actually provide you enough nutrition to survive. It's one of those things that you wouldn't think. So I'm adding that to my bug out bag I'm building. Yeah, well done. I thought seeds would really be a good thing to have in a bug out bag. And it doesn't take up a lot of room. And you could put the plastic container and make it something else. I'm thinking of making it a dual plastic container and cedar. Something like, water filter / cedar. Something. Well, of course, I'll work it out. I'm coming up with something kind of cool. Well, no, I got it down to under 40 pounds. That's not too much weight. Two people will be able to survive for 10 days in a bug out situation. And it's under 40 pounds. That's not too bad. But if you haven't created a bug out bag, folks, you need to do that for your car. Even if it's just a bunch of crackers or protein bars you really like. Because if you don't prepare for the inevitability, better be prepared than sorry, and then stuck somewhere. If we get hit with an electromagnetic pulse, for instance, an EMP, or a solar flare could trigger this. And I just heard the statistic, it blew me away. Thank you. It talked about a 10% likelihood of a solar flare happening that could cause an EMP in the next 10 years. No, excuse me, it was a 12% likelihood. And this is coming from doomsday preppers. I think it was the 10th show. Yeah. But yeah, anything like that could happen. That could be a very big change in all of our lives. Everyone would go into a major kind of a change. You wouldn't have your electronics. You wouldn't have anything. I'm trying to look for my solar flare. Where did it go here? We've got the Earth. Oh, here it is. So I hope I woke up a few people tonight. Especially with that NASA interview with the top NASA guy talking about chemtrails being dumped all over us. It's kind of a mind blower to see somebody in the center of a NASA research program on wind just say, oh yes, lithium is totally safe. Nothing to worry about there. We dump it on you all the time. I'm extremely upset that none of this has been discussed publicly with the American people. And we have a right to know. We really do. Hi, Calypso. Is that a John Denver song you're sending me? Oh, Dark Side. Oh. We are now going to discuss brain control. The effects of RF frequencies on our mind. By playing a song that is indicative of brain control. So our world is being controlled by some weird forces. And they've got some sort of a radiation belt over the Earth. And they're getting away with this stuff. It's crazy. It's like a net of radiation that's controlling the atmosphere. I'm not sure what they're going to do with it, but their ultimate goal is weather modification. And I'm not the one who talked about it. John F. Kennedy planned this. Remember he said we're going to go to the moon and the other thing? Well, guess what the other thing is, everybody? You're looking at it. Radiation, weather modification, and brain control. Yeah. Nice, huh? right, it's been a great show. Thank you for coming in, everyone. As usual, we'll play a lot of great songs or great videos tonight. Songs. We are from France. We are from France. I need to work my abs. This could be like Tybo, you know? I love this energy, though. I really like the fact that a lot of people are waking up to the lies of the two-party system. Thank you so much. Awesome music by Scissor Fight. He's a remix artist. We are from France. I'm an American citizen, born here in America, and I've got great ideas for the country like this. Water-powered barges linked to every port around the world that we make here in America at 2 ports. Bremerton, Washington, and Eastport, Maine. That's what I plan on doing. We also plan on creating an ocean pipeline in California to save the water crisis. And a whole lot of other stuff. Tomorrow we're going to talk more about our mobile medical units and our plan to take foreclosed houses and rebuild them. But renovate them, basically, and give people the dream of home ownership again. All right. Thanks, everybody, for coming in. I'll be now evacuating this, and I'll bring you some cool shows that have been coming in on the pipe that we've been taking pictures. Obviously, the internet is ripe with information. And some of the stuff is kind of unnerving. I'm going to show you China's empty cities, housing 64 million empty apartments. The growth of China has almost been artificially created by China. So you have to look at this to really understand that they're not exactly what you think they are. They're not the threat that Obama and Hillary claim they are, and of course Donald Trump claims they are. They're actually just a country trying to survive in a very tough global, climactic, and economic plunge, to put it mildly. Anyway, thank you for coming in. We'll be back tomorrow from 5 to 9. Take care.
These are satellite images of one of China's newest cities. A sprawling urban centre, complete with public buildings, hotels, and apartment blocks. And this is the view from the ground. 11 a.m. on a Thursday morning, and Zhengzhou CBD is deserted. Shops unoccupied, hundreds of apartments uninhabited. All the shops in this mall are empty. Not that that worries the government, because they're simply more concerned with maintaining economic growth. And one way of achieving that is building cities like this one. The big question, though, is how much longer all these shops and properties can remain vacant. But all around me, the construction of this metropolis goes on. And here, in the southern city of Dongguan, yet another example. This is the